Hello, what's up? What's up? I'm live today, and I'm going to watch some videos about the news and other stuff. So let's start, and we'll start from the video about. Let's see.
In 2017,
Terry Crews tried to warn us. They mocked him. Let's see now.
In 2017, one of the most universally loved Hollywood stars, Terry Crews, attempted to warn us about the depraved nature of powerful executives in the industry. Not only did he share his extremely humiliating experience to a global audience, but he also tried to do the right thing and get justice legally, only for his case to be thrown out due to what seemed to be the LAPD being paid off. As if that wasn't bad enough, self-proclaimed macho men in the industry made fun of Terry for sharing his story, giving more of a reason for victims to remain silent.
Terry Crews is like the Hulk, and I just couldn't get how he said that he didn't, like he froze, like he was afraid.
A little chubby white man grabbed your nuts and you ain't do shit. That's funny.
I think it's hard for me to think that the dude with all those muscles can't tell.
I like his style. He's like the country guy, but he's also the black guy, so I mean, it's just not really, not really his kind of style. I mean, the black kind of style. I mean, from the media I see usually. So he's kind of straw hat. Is making his own style quite unique.
To not touch his ass.
Is there a chance that Terry just might be gay and hasn't come out the closet yet?
Because I had the same thought that you just had.
Ironically, as much as these men tried to minimize Crews, all it did was expose themselves for being a cog in the wheel of Hollywood's evil machine. But this was just one of the countless dark moments in Terry's career. Although the world saw him as a lovable, muscular teddy bear, deep down he was suffering from a lifetime of pain. Today we are going to deep dive into the tragic story of Terry Crews, the gentle giant who never had to build a facade to be loved. The reason Terry Crews decided to become a chiseled 250-pound beast was because he thought he would have to kill his father.
A lot of my desire to be strong was because
I didn't know that the Old Spice guy had so many troubles in life. He's so cheerful and funny on the Old Spice videos.
I knew one day I may have to kill my father.
Terry Crews was the son of a violent alcoholic father and an extremely religious mother.
Well, my earliest memory is my father knocking my mother out. He was physically abusive, just straight up. And it's wild because he didn't hit us because my mother would kill him.
Right.
But my mother let him hit her. Not let, I wouldn't even say let, but she would just say, she kind of took her abuse as par for the course.
Divorce was not even considered an option because of his mother's religious views. So Terry had to witness this constant violence
So the
through his
divorce would be a sin in this case. Well, that's tough to live like that.
formative years. Additionally, his mother's religion did not allow Terry to go to the movies, watch television, listen to music, or really do anything that was secular. So he developed an incredible imagination and a knack for drawing.
I started this art ability simply because I had a huge imagination and was wondering what the world was like. I mean, people would tell me, you know, they went to the movies and they would describe the films and I would try to draw them out.
Wow.
Because I couldn't see them.
Whether it was playing the flute, dancing, painting, or acting, Terry knew he was destined to be an artist. But coming from Flint, Michigan, being an artist was not a realistic career, so he constantly felt the need to suppress his dreams. In the 9th grade, he was finally allowed to play sports, and being a larger kid, he gravitated to football. At Flint Academy High School, Terry was the backbone of their defense. Despite this, he never got any offers to play college ball. He did, however, receive an Art Excellence Scholarship to attend Western Michigan University. At WMU, he decided he would give football another chance. Due to his size and natural athletic ability, he earned a spot on the team as a walk-on player. As a defensive end, Terry was named to the All-American team by the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Over his college career, Terry Crews recovered 4 fumbles, which was one shy of a school record, and recorded 12 tackles in a 24-12 victory over Wisconsin. His play on the field helped him earn second-team All-Mid-American Conference honors. Crews helped Western Michigan win the Mid-American Conference Championship in 1988. And even though Terry still believed he was destined to be an artist, he just had no realistic way of achieving that dream. Plus, he had a chance of making the National Football League.
All the way back to college, when I was dating my wife, I told her we were sitting at a Wendy's parking lot. We were sitting in the Wendy's. They had little places in the front where we sit there. And I said, look, first I'm going to play in the NFL. Then we're going to move to Hollywood. We're going to make movies. I made that promise. You see, because I always talk.
Right.
And that's what got on everybody's nerves. Okay, they was like, he talking again.
Yeah.
But I told her, I said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to play in the NFL. Then we're going to move to Hollywood, make movies. She was like, okay.
And all this talk about football is reminding me that it's the best time of the year. The NFL season and the NBA season are underway. And my partner, Underdog, wants you to turn your takes into cash. The Los Angeles has it now using promo code PatrickCC to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick. Thanks, Underdog. The Los Angeles Rams drafted Terry Crews in the 11th round. As a rookie with the LA Rams,
he was a promising footballer, and the artist inherited was from the abusive household, as I see. So that's rough.
Only
but
6 games
overall,
that
his
season.
life is not looking that bad from the outside perspective, to be honest.
On special teams, and then sat out the rest of the 91 and 92 seasons. If you didn't know, the vast majority of NFL players don't earn those multi-million-dollar paychecks, especially in the 90s. Plus, if you don't make the official roster, or you get hurt, you don't get paid. Crews played for 6 different teams in 7 years. He was constantly getting cut and was never able to secure that big contract. So he had to use his artistic abilities to make money.
I would get cut from a team. Okay. And, you know, I played on 6 teams in 7
Because
years.
of the injuries.
A lot. So I would go back
really
into the
shitty.
locker room and ask the players if they wanted their portraits painted.
After being cut?
Yes, because that's how I survived. I was always on the end of the roster. I was never a big superstar. I was an 11th round draft pick. So my whole thing is, I mean, humility gets you far. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to make some money. You got to humble yourself. And I would go back in, and you know it was so cool because the big stars, they'd be like, man, let's just do, I'll get a little brother a painting, you know, and I'll give him some money. And it was really kind of cool. But the thing is, I was really good.
It would take him about 2 months to complete a painting, as it was done entirely by hand. But he would charge charged the players about $5,000 per piece, and that was enough to pay his rent, feed his wife, and 2 daughters. Terry even says the reason he is
that's
bald is
cool.
because he was so broke.
Back in 1991, I had the most beautiful flat top you could imagine. And then I went to the NFL and I was like, oh man, my high top is so beautiful. And I got cut. And so I was like, oh man, barbershops cost money. And I had no money. I mean, I literally was broke. I just went, I'm going all out, I'm shaving it off, and I was so disappointed.
Were you really?
Bro, wait, first of all, you gotta talk about, I didn't know it was lumpy. I had no idea there was lumps in my head.
It was now 1997, Terry was almost 30 years old, and he knew he was never going to get the consistent NFL job.
how-
Over his 7
How old is he now, actually? On this video, he looks very well. He looks on like 40 or something.
It was now 1997, Terry was almost 30 years old, and he knew he was never going to get the consistent NFL job. Over his 7-year career, Terry played in a total of 26 NFL games and secured a total of 5 tackles. Feeling defeated with absolutely no direction to go in, it was actually his wife who brought up that promise that he made to her back in college. She said, "Let's take the girls to Hollywood and make movies." But how does a guy with no money, no connections, and a family of 4 survive in Hollywood? Well, he started by asking his former Washington Redskins teammate Ken Harvey for money.
And I was taking these loans from my friend, continued to take, I probably took about 20, 30 loans from this guy. And he was a pro football player. He's my good friend, Ken Harvey. He's still my good friend to this day. And that's what's so amazing. He stopped and said, hey man, I asked him for one more loan. He said, dude, that's it. I can't do it anymore.
Terry lived off his friend's money for a year and a half trying to get a job working behind the scenes of a Hollywood production. He was unsuccessful. Desperate to pay the bills, he went to a temp agency to find work where they gave him a job sweeping factory floors for $8 an hour.
Sweeping floors humbled me. Like, there's a breaking that you have to go through. Because there was a long time I wouldn't do that.
Right.
And I was like, hey man, I'm too proud for this. And what would everybody think if they see me sweeping the floor?
Right.
And my wife was like, they don't know you.
After sweeping floors, Terry used his natural size and NFL pass to apply for security work. He landed multiple jobs in LA working security outside of various Hollywood studios. In
Yeah,
1999,
he looks intimidating.
he was working
Exactly.
outside the set during the filming of Next Friday, starring Ice Cube and Mike Epps. Terry's job on that set was to secure, aka just watch Ice Cube's car for 12 hours.
And I was out there literally watching Cube's car. And and there I was, I'm like, I'm in the business. But I was so far from anything happy.
Through working security, Terry met a friend who was a location manager. Location managers basically just oversee all of the various locations of a film production, and they also hire security to secure those locations.
Well, he's like, dude, we're doing this really intense movie at the Jungle right now with Denzel Washington. You gotta come check it out. I came on set as a visitor. I've always realized that you just have to go. Like if you just show up, a lot of times your opportunities are there. I was watching Denzel prepare and I was studying him and I was like, this is how an actor at the top of his game does his thing. Well, the director walks over to me, Antoine Fuqua, and he says, hey man, you wanna be in this movie? I said, yeah. I was like, sir, whatever you need me to do. It was wild. And he said, I'm gonna find ways to use you in the movie. And I was like, whatever you need. And I didn't get one dime for training day. I just showed up, I volunteered, I said, whatever I can do, I just wanna help the movie. I want this to be the best thing ever.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah, he was really dedicated.
Okay.
Terry's uncredited
Because he was really broke.
role in the film was so small and seemingly so insignificant, yet it was the reason why he got his big break in Hollywood. Training Day was a $100 million box office hit, and it just so happened to be one of Ice Cube's favorite movies. And when Ice Cube was watching Training Day, he remembered Terry Crews as the security guard from his set 2 years ago. So he got in contact with Crews and asked him to audition for his next film, Friday After Next.
But they remembered me. So I got a chance to audition for Friday After Next. And I remember us sitting in the waiting room, me and Cat Williams, hoping, praying one day we would be able to, be in this movie. Cat Williams and I decided we were gonna go all in. There was gonna be no holding back. If you look at the scenes with Cat Williams and I, It's almost like a intense drama.
Although Friday After Next was not a box office smash, the Friday series was a cult classic loved by millions more than the financials indicate. Terry Crews was officially in. All of what he calls Black Hollywood knew his name, his face, and he was ready to
Black
take
Hollywood.
over.
I knew I was in my destiny.
That's
When
funny.
I say, and this is what I'm saying, I found my destiny. It was so wild because I didn't even want money anymore. I said, I want that feeling again. You know, you know what I mean? It's true, because you could talk about athletes and money and all that stuff, but there's a point when I'm sure when you just catching and doing everything right, you want to chase that again.
Despite Terry seeming like he was on top of the world, he was still suffering through dark times. One Christmas that he calls the Christmas from Hell, he decided to take his children and his wife back to Flint, Michigan to see his family. Fearful of his father, also known as Big T, resorting back to his old ways, Terry told him to keep his composure in front of the grandchildren. But once the alcohol got flowing, Big T lashed out, and he hit Terry's mom in front of the children, knocking her tooth out of place.
I said, so what's
Damn.
going on? Nothing. I said, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you not to act up? Didn't I tell you? CT. Bam! 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 Grown ass man now. I hit him. Then my brother came in. Bam! We beat his ass, CT. Now let me tell you something. This is the thing. Now this is what I want everybody to get. I didn't feel better. I didn't feel better. It didn't work.
Terry learned right there and then that physical violence is never going to solve his problems.
Because the thing is,
I mean,
with
that's
all
not
this
solving the
stuff,
problems, but that's teaching a lesson to the one person.
you have to rise above.
Caused the violence
I wasn't
in the
rising
first
above.
place,
I went
so
down with
I
it,
mean,
yeah. I
sometimes
went to his
it's
level.
necessary, but it's better to avoid it, of course.
My gang members, when you shoot back, now you just like everybody else.
Right with
You right there with them. There's a moment that I had to choose to rise above, but I didn't.
After this incident, Terry did not return home for over a decade. He went back to Hollywood and masked his pain through his work. Crews had not yet proved himself as a lead in Hollywood. He was only getting minor roles, but he had a drive and dedication like no other. He said yes to almost everything, which led to him filming 4 movies per year. But the one role that earned him global superstardom was his role as Latrell in White Chicks. White Chicks is about 2 fumbling FBI agents who disguise themselves as mega-rich princesses to infiltrate high society, with the obvious caveat that they are black men disguising themselves as white women. That fact alone was enough to get people extremely interested in the film. Terry had met Damon Wayans through his work. Damon is related to Keenan Ivory Wayans, who is Hollywood royalty, producing comedy classics like In Living Color, Scary Movie, Don't Be a Menace to South Central, among others. The Wayans invited
these are
Crews to
iconic
audition for White
movies.
Chicks, and Terry impressed Keenan, so much so that when he got the part as Latrell, the comedy legend often told Crews to basically freestyle on set. Terry never felt more comfortable as an actor and comedian, and he knew this was his time to shine. In the film, Crews plays the role of pro basketball player Latrell Spencer, who is attracted to Tiffany not knowing that she is actually Marcus disguised as a woman.
Santa must have come early this year, because you were first on my Christmas list.
I'm seeing the uncanny valley here while seeing these guys.
To come early this
Damn.
year, because you were first on my Christmas list.
So creepy.
right there.
I want to know, are you naughty?
Is that a CGI or that kind of costume or everything in combined?
Nice.
Sorry, I'm not interested.
I'll take that as naughty.
Throughout the entire film, Tiffany is trying to do whatever she can to make Latrell disinterested, whether that be pigging out in front of him or even letting one rip, but it doesn't work. Everything she does just makes Latrell more interested.
Oopsie, I had a poopsie.
Girl, we gonna get along just fine. Back at you.
But the most
That's just
iconic
gross.
scene from this film that defined Terry Crews's entire career was when he picked up Tiffany to go out to eat, turned on the radio, and sang every word to 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. The most shocking part about this scene was that it was actually filmed in just one take. It only took one take because Terry actually loved this song and knew every single word to it before ever stepping onto the movie set. Despite being hilarious in the entire film, Terry's career drastically changed from this scene alone.
Slowly but surely, everything just started to change for me. People would give me my mail, like, making my way downtown. And they were like, do the song, do the song.
White Chicks grossed over $100 million in the box office, but it is widely regarded as a cult classic. He became recognized globally and his Hollywood presence skyrocketed. From there, Cruise got a taste of the Adam Sandler stimulus package when he secured a role in The Longest Yard, which was a film about a washed-up former professional football quarterback who goes to prison and is forced to assemble a team to play against the guards. Terry's character, Cheeseburger Eddie, is known for being able to get any item from the McDonald's menu into their prison.
I knew you couldn't resist my I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... I just got burgers.
He also did one of the cleanest robot dances you will ever see. Terry continued to steamroll through cult classics, securing the role as the president in Idiocracy. Idiocracy was written and directed by the legendary Mike Judge, who thought Terry was an
The Mike Judge?
perfect fit
Really?
for President Camacho, a former
He's
professional
famous.
wrestler and also prawn star.
Shit. I know bad right now, with all that starving bullshit and the dust storms, and we running out of French fries and burrito coverings.
Yeah.
But I got a solution.
That's what you said last time, dipshit.
Ironically, President Camacho would have a decent chance at winning the actual presidential election today, but it was again a connection that Terry Crews made on set that would get him another career-defining role, which was portraying Chris Rock's father on the TV sitcom Everybody Hates Chris.
I opened that up. He's like, I want you to play my dad. Because he saw me and my wife and my 2 kids out there in Santa Fe, New Mexico, when we was filming Longest Yard. He was watching. And that's the thing another people, you gotta remember, everybody is watching. Everybody is watching. And so then I played Chris's dad, and Everybody Hate Chris for 4 years straight. This man, when I look at my life, man, I just thank God for every opportunity.
Everybody Hates Chris is an extremely highly rated sitcom achieving a
Oh my god. Holy shit, these ratings almost 100, and Tomatoes and the other thing.
near perfect score from both fans and critics. And although it is a comedy, it is primarily about adolescence and family life in inner city poverty, the determined struggles.
And he was one of the main casters. I mean, one of the main roles here.
Of decent parents trying to provide a better life and values for their family, which made Terry the perfect candidate for the role, as that kind of explains his real life. Cruz's character Julius was loved for his insane levels of frugality.
I know you're not gonna throw that away. Eat that. That's 30 cents worth of oatmeal. Unplug that clock, boy. You can't tell time when you sleep. It's 2 cents an hour.
Throughout his career, Terry constantly broke the trope that muscular African Americans had to be portrayed as tough gangsters. Muscles aren't funny was a common thought in the industry, and Terry knew he could break that barrier. He didn't need to pretend to be something he wasn't for the approval of Hollywood. He didn't have to build some facade and maintain it so he could get consistent work. He always remained himself, and that's why fans loved him. Terry Crews is a giant muscular teddy bear that deserves to be loved and appreciated. After his hard work through the 2000s, Terry Crews was officially an A-list superstar, but his dark past that he hid from his wife was at its tipping point. Not the money, the fame, nor the acceptance from the world could distract him from the secret he was hiding from his family. And on his darkest day, to what he now calls D-Day, is when he had to admit to his wife that he had cheated on her.
Years go by, but my wife was always suspicious, like, what's up with you,
That's
Terry?
shitty.
And I'm like, I'm
That's
good,
really
I'm good.
shitty.
And I remember starting arguments, so she would stop talking. You start to forget which lie you told. Things start to conflate and mixing up.
Yeah, better to just not date in the first place. Not, I mean, uh, they are not dating. They are actually in the marriage. I mean, that's just better to stop the marriage in this case. If the one is just starting to cheat, that's all over, because marriage is actually means that the people should be exclusive to each other. So if anyone cheats, or if that is like the destiny's marriage, open marriage, which is really really contradictory to me, that's just not gonna work. That's the failed concept itself from the birth. So it just will not ever be actual thing. And yeah, that's how the marriage is actually breaking.
And the pornography never stopped. It would be at a lull, but I'd go like a month and be like, oh wow, I'm good. And then February 2010, she was like, what is it I don't know about you, Terry Crews? And I'm like, what she has to complain about? It's a good life, And the question I would ask her, and I would literally ask myself, was like, why doesn't she believe me? When the question I should have been asking is, why am I lying? And I had blamed her for not believing me. That's how deep it goes. And I'm gonna tell you.
Oh gosh, he was even pressuring her because she didn't believe to his lies. It's so shitty, to be honest.
Success is the warmest place to hide. You get a lot of sycophants. You get a lot of people telling you, you're right. I had tons of people like, man, you good.
Yes, man.
In comparison to everybody else, oh my God, you never hit your wife. You never, you bring the money home. You do all this stuff. But I was not real. I was a lie. I was living a lie. And when I told my wife, I heard this gasp on the other end, and I was like, oh boy, I think it's over. And she said, I'm done. She said, I don't know who you are. I have no idea. Because see, to me, it happened 10 years ago. But to her, it happened today.
Most men in Hollywood, or in general, would have listened to their ego. They would have convinced themselves that their infidelity was no big deal, and it's menial compared to what other men do. Additionally, a Hollywood star like Terry Crews would probably have left their wife and just married some 21-year-old. But then how would his kids view him? You see, Terry Crews was trying to be the role model that his father never was. He also loved his wife and cherished her loyalty to him. She stuck.
So he loved her, but still did the intentional action of cheating. And sorry, bless me. And he, I don't know under which circumstances he was cheating under the influence of the alcohol or the drugs or whatever. That's still the intentional action to just be not loyal and destroy the marriage whatsoever. So if his wife will, or any wife will actually forgive it, then it's on her, of course. But to be honest, that's no point from my perspective to even think about continuing this marriage, to be honest. Yeah, I would say it from any perspective, like from the wife's perspective, from the husband perspective, that's just not worth it.
by him when he was nothing. She believed in him, and he knew that was something he could not just let go. They spent years repairing their relationship, but today they use their story as a way to help other couples revive their relationships.
So now, this is what you have to do. And I was totally prepared to live the rest of my life by myself, because knowing what I'd done, I was like, would I
So
forgive
they
me?
were trying to revive their relationships while he cheated? Really? Is that the case? I mean, that's just how to revive the person from the dead. You can revive the marriage from that kind of action that's just over.
See, that was the big thing. Like, would I forgive me? And you know what the answer was? No. No.
Yeah.
But she did.
Many people praise Terry for opening up about his vulnerabilities. He
Hey, what's up? How are you doing? I'm cool.
says he constantly receives emails and messages from people that he has inspired to get help for their addictions, or dive deeper into their faith to find answers for their darkness. However, not everyone thought him being
Yeah, me too, me too. Just watching some drama videos and news and stuff.
vulnerable was honorable. Some of them thought it was funny. More specifically,
Yeah, my day was alright, just didn't do much, to be honest, just search about some working opportunities, and yeah, what about you?
when he announced to the world that he was sexually assaulted, guys like 50 Cent, Nick Cannon, and others publicly mocked him. On October 10th, 2017, Terry tweeted, "This whole thing with Harvey Weinstein is giving me PTSD. Why? Because this kind of thing happened to me. My wife and I were at a Hollywood function last year, and a high-level Hollywood executive..."
Yeah, no problem, no problem. You can chill with me, so yeah. I mean, I'm not streaming every day. I'm usually streaming on, if you're living in US, that will be like, Saturday, wait. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and, wait, just, Jesus. I mean, I forgot the word. Damn me, I'm not from the English-speaking country, so I can miss it. Yeah, so I mean, usually on weekends and like Friday and the day before. Yeah. I'm from Russia, though. Are you from the English-speaking country? Oh, okay. So you're most likely from Russian Federation. So you're probably from the I mean, from the East Coast or West Coast. Cause if the East Coast, that will be like I don't know, just like about the more than 12 or so hours difference. So yeah, I know that if you will be from the East Coast, that will be about just 12 hours difference, something like this. So yeah, it's still quite cold here. It's about like 7. No, 17. It's not 7. 17 degrees. Kind of cold here. Just deep Russia. Not the Moscow even. So yeah.
Came over to me and groped my privates. Jumping back, I said, "What are you doing?" My wife saw everything and we looked at him like he was crazy. He just grinned like a jerk. The alleged perpetrator was Adam Bennett, who was the head of motion pictures for Morris Endeavor Entertainment, an American holding company for talent and media agencies with a net worth of around $6.9 billion, servicing A-list clients like Jake Gyllenhaal, Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Denzel Washington, and even Elvis Presley. Presley. Based on the casual nature of Terry's tweet, it was kind of hard to take him seriously. Then when he went on national news to tell his story, they realized this was no joke.
Back in February 2016, I was assaulted by Adam Bennett, who is the head of the motion picture department at William
yeah, that's 9. That will be 9 hours.
Endeavor, one of the biggest agencies in the world. He's connected to, probably everyone I know in the business. I did not know this man.
So you did not know him before this?
I have never had a conversation with him, ever. I'm looking at him, and he's basically staring at me, and he's sticking his tongue out, and it's overtly sexual kind of tongue moves. And I'm sitting there like, it's a party, it's packed, the whole thing, and I'm looking like, is this a joke? I mean, I don't understand. It was actually so bizarre. And he keeps coming over to me. He comes over to me, I stick my hand out, and he literally takes his hand and puts it and squeezes my genitals. And I'm jump back like, hey. And he's like, and he's still licking his tongue out and all this stuff. And I go, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he comes back again, and he just won't stop. And then I really got forceful, pushed him back. He bumps into all the other party goers, the whole thing, and he starts giggling and laughing. And let me tell you, Mike, I have never felt more emasculated, more objectified.
So you didn't think anybody would believe you if you came forward?
Last year, no. Actually, I let it go. Actually, I put it in the back of my head, and I understood why women everywhere had to let it go. But let me tell you, when the Weinstein thing started happening, I got PTSD. I was going, oh my God, this exact thing happened to me.
Shortly after Terry reported this, he got a call from Adam Bennett himself.
I get a call, here it's him on the line. I'm sorry, I was drunk, I wasn't myself that night. And I said, hey man, you gotta understand the depth of what you did in front of my wife. I said, man, you don't even know how close you got to really being hurt. And I said, you need some help. I said, you need to go get help. And he was like, yeah, okay.
Was it sincere? Did you feel like it was sincere?
No. It's like when people are sorry because they got caught.
After telling his story to the world, Terry then decided to file a police report with the LAPD about the incident.
Cruz first talked publicly about this last month.
People have to be held accountable. We're gonna go all the way.
Determined to get justice, Cruz filed a lawsuit against Adam Bennett. Russell Simmons, a record executive who has never done any business with Terry Crews in his life, emailed Terry asking him if he would give the agent a pass, but Terry remained firm. Nobody gets a pass.
I ignored it. When he emailed me at first, I ignored it, and then all of a sudden he's like, I got 0 tolerance for this thing. I'm like, wait a minute, you say you got 0 tolerance, but you told me to get a dude a pass when the dude did it to me. I said, that's because abusers protect abusers. This culture protects it. They protect each other like that.
Terry even told his story in front of the Senate.
My name is Terry Crews.
Like the PDF files are protecting PDF files in Hollywood, how I heard.
I am an actor, author, former athlete, advocate, and a survivor of a sexual assault. This past year, we have seen powerful men in Hollywood and elsewhere finally held accountable for sexual harassment and assault. We also saw the backlash survivors faced after coming forward.
It's sad that people say, we need to care more about men who are SA'd too, but when men speak up about it, they oftentimes get made fun of and ridiculed. The people who should be ridiculed are the gross assailants.
Yeah, exactly. The sexual violence towards the men is really undervalued, or how to say it's underrated, just dismissed or anything like this. So yeah, that's really fucked up, and it should be fixed for sure.
not the victims. Since this was at the heart of the Me Too movement, where most people speaking out were called opportunists and liars, many raised the argument that nobody could possibly assault a 250-pound muscular beast like Terry Crews, essentially proposing the idea that he was lying or doing this for attention. 50 Cent was one of the many who ridiculed him. On Instagram, he posted an image of a shirtless Terry Crews with the words, "I got R-worded. My wife just watched." It also featured a second photo of Crews in a suit with a rose in his mouth with the words, "Gym time." In the caption, he wrote, "LOL, what the F is going on here, man? Terry, I froze in fear. They would have had to take me to jail. Get the strap." 50 doubled down on his comments in an interview with Larry King.
Terry Crews is like the Hulk. This guy's like huge. And he when he gets into a scenario, starts to explain the scenario, because he was speaking to the Senate, and the lady asked him, well, you didn't do anything, you didn't like push him off, or, and I just couldn't get how he said that he didn't, like he froze, like he was afraid.
And Terry was approached and asked to respond to 50's comments. He took the high road.
Today, 50 Cent took a shot at you on one of his posts, saying that
Oh, she is a giant. He's an absolute giant.
Yeah. And, you know, he said if it had happened to him, he would have grabbed his strap.
Well, I love 50 Cent. I listen to his music while I'm working out. That's the deal.
Amanda, the stairs. Anything about how big you are? Is that something is that a fair comment by him?
Well, first of all, I proved that size doesn't matter when it comes to sexual assault.
But that didn't stop the conversation around Terry. In fact, it just poured more gas on the fire. Some people even started to ponder if Terry was gay, and that maybe he liked it.
Is there a chance that Terry just might be gay and hasn't come out the closet yet?
Let me tell you something. When I saw that today, right, it with me for a split second, because I had the same thought that you just had. When you're from the street, and now Terry Crews from Flint. He's from Flint, Michigan. I don't know nobody else. Some of the coldest gangsters I know come out of Flint, Michigan. So what the fuck he was trying to prove with the purse and the boots, I don't get it, because it doesn't prove anything. And to the LGBTQ, to the Terry Crewses of the world, listen, we're not here to bash nobody. Some things are just misconstrued. And don't forget, we are entitled to our opinions also.
More of Terry's peers chimed in, like comedian D.L. Hewley.
What do you think of the whole Terry Crews thing?
Yeah, they all just will be saying that if the Terry Crews is giant, that he can be sexually assaulted, which is just not how it's supposed to work. I mean, in which age, though, he was actually sexually assaulted? Maybe he was sexually assaulted when he was like 10 or so. I didn't get it from the video here. Maybe I missed something. But yeah, it would be more strange if he would be sexually assaulted when he was the grown-ass big man. But if he was just little boy, then he would be, and anybody could just be easily as assaulted. So yeah.
I think it's hard for me to think that a dude with all those muscles can't tell an agent to not touch his ass.
His ass or his...
Whatever.
Whatever he touched.
I just do. I don't understand. I think that now everybody's so into this notion that it happened to me too. Hey, mother.
Or I mean, if somebody pointed the gun at him and he didn't have the gun, then he didn't have really a choice there to be the sexually assaulted or what, to be killed.
I gave you muscle so you could say no.
Presumably fed up for being mocked and ridiculed for over a year, Terry kind of snapped at DL, and the way he responded just caused even more controversy. He got into a back and forth with DL Hewley on Twitter, where DL suggested that he should have slapped the executive for groping him, to which Terry replied, "So sir, if you truly feel that is a correct way to deal with toxic behavior, should I slap the shit out of you?" This tweet absolutely exploded with 227,000 likes. But they were just in it for the drama. Many others felt like Terry crossed a line.
So let me get this straight. He want to slap the black man for commenting on his situation. but he does nothing to the white man who created the situation by molesting him and basically driving him in front of his wife.
Nick Cannon jumped in on the conversation. While he said he respects the way Terry handled the situation, he doesn't think that absolves him from being joked on.
A little chubby white man grabbed your nuts and you ain't do shit. That's funny. You a big ass mother. We gonna joke about that. Right. You come on Wildin' Out, it's gonna be nut grabbing jokes for the whole episode. Like, because it happened in the public, we're talking about, it's not, we can joke about this. There's no hate involved in this, but that's how you get over that. Humor heals. Like, right, let's talk about it. So he can't, I don't agree with him jumping out there and
I mean, that's really a traumatic episode for him, so it will be hard to overcome if the people will be joking about these. It would be much better if this guy would support the Terry Crews in his uneasy situation and uneasy reveal.
You know, badgering all of these other people who are just talking about it. Like, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, they made jokes about it too. Why you not getting crazy with them?
Nobody seemed to acknowledge that if Terry Crews beat the snot out of this guy, he would be labeled as the crazy black guy who overreacted and beat up the innocent white executive who was just playing a little joke. Unfortunately, Terry's lawsuit never got to see a trial, and a settlement was reached between Bennett and Crews, meaning Terry did get some sort of payout. Bennett denied the allegations in court documents, claiming his actions towards Crews were not sexual and caused no harm. However, Crews claims that the case was thrown out because Bennett was in the LAPD's pockets. He tweeted, "Adam Bennett has been the event chairman of the LAPD Foundation, which raises millions."
Okay, I'm just wondering what were the circumstances under the essay. I mean, what did the assault person actually done? What was the action of the assault? I mean, what was that just slap, or was that something really? Was that air thing?
For the LAPD.
Great.
Anyone wonder why my assault case against him was thrown out by the DA? Yeah, #MeToo. Terry risked his career to try to expose the dark reality of a Hollywood executive, and for that he was mocked and ridiculed by his peers. Some of them will never work with Terry because of this, but it doesn't really seem like it impacted his ability to get work. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Terminator Salvation, The Expendables 1, 2, and 3, Bridesmaids, Arrested Development, The Ridiculous Six, Sorry to Bother You, Deadpool 2, hosting America's Got Talent, and even becoming the most iconic Old Spice spokesman in.
Yeah, I'm remembering here himself just because of the Old Spice advertisement. The Old Spice advertisement is so hilarious with him. I really laughed my ass off from that ad back then.
History, it's safe to say that standing up for what was right paid off in the end. All of Terry's decisions, even if deemed controversial, were done in the spirit of being the man his father never was. Terry is redefining masculinity.
I mean, just the episode of cheating to his wife was really unnecessary, I would say, and it's, in other words, causing shade on his nice dead persona and just overall funny guy personality.
Constantly asking himself, what is the right thing to do as a husband and as a father? And despite all the pain, torment, and abuse his father put onto him, he forgave him, and they made amends.
Yeah, that's overall sad. I mean, you can joke about anything, but if that's basically the sexual assault of the other person, it's just getting really, really dark. And if you don't want to if you don't want to actually make the relationships with the person in that kind of situation bad, you just shouldn't really crack the jokes about it. Yeah. Let's see the next one. What the hell has been suggested the LGBTQ test on the YouTube page? I mean, I didn't really search about this content, to be honest. What? 10 times cartels messed with the wrong influencers. Let's see.
This woman was tortured for 20 grueling hours for speaking up.
I've heard that the cartels actually punishing influencers who were talking shit about the cartels, which is really dumb decision, but the influencers can actually pull the Uno reverse card. That's interesting.
This woman was tortured for 20 grueling hours for speaking up against a very well-known cartel.
Oh my
and then
God.
she was dumped in a jail cell and slapped with a fake lawsuit to have her silenced permanently. But what she did next shocked everybody, including her torturers. Here are some times cartels messed with the wrong influencers.
Are the Mexican cartels though, or
December
which one?
2005, Cancun, Mexico.
Ah, Mexico.
Journalist Lydia Cacho was walking to her car when armed men surrounded her. They showed police badges, but their eyes showed something else. They were here to silence her forever. 20 hours of torture were about to begin. Just 6 months earlier, Cacho published The Demons of Eden, exposing a trafficking ring that reached the highest levels of Mexican power. She'd name names: governors, senators, businessmen, and drug cartels. These were men who bought and sold children like merchandise. And now, they wanted her dead. The police drove her hundreds of miles from Cancun to Puebla, stopping repeatedly to torture her. Their goal was to get her to confess that her book was a lie.
Si me desaparecen en el mar, mi familia va a pasar toda su vida buscándome.
Yeah,
Y
she
enamoradísima me
exposed
divorcié de él.
the names as well. That's too brave,
El único hombre
actually.
con el que me he
That's
casado, que
just too
estuvimos
much
13 años
brave.
juntos, porque yo sabía.
For 20 hours, they debated whether to kill her, and at one point, they even made a phone call to their boss, who was none other than the governor of Puebla. But Cacho spent years preparing for this moment. She documented every threat and photographed every aggressor. Plus, her team of 43 women at the high-security shelter she ran were trained the same way. What her torturers didn't know was that Cacho had already given all her evidence to international journalists. She recorded a video saying,
"If they kill me, it's because of this."
The torture continued, but Cacho's mind stayed clear. This
So she somehow collected the evidence?
wasn't her first death threat, and it wouldn't be her last. Finally, after a grueling 20-hour torture session, her kidnappers decided to let her go. But
Oh.
she still wasn't in the clear.
So nice of them.
In fact, she was taken to a nearby prison in Puebla, where she'd later learned she'd be charged with defamation. Later in court, Cacho testified for 7 hours against the very men responsible for her torture.
Quiero estar bien. Yo estaba bien. Yo tengo muchos problemas de salud como consecuencia de todo el trabajo que he hecho.
Her calmness came from knowing she stood for something bigger. Behind her were mothers who'd lost children, the girls who'd been sold for $3,000. She was their shield.
They were buying and selling children from Mexico, from Florida, and from other countries in Latin America, like Paraguay and El Salvador.
The network
Oh my
she
God.
exposed was more about power than it was about trafficking. These men created a system of political protection, judicial immunity, and money laundering. Cacho understood the price of her investigation. She'd already been threatened for years through radio and TV shows, where she exposed abusers while protecting victims' identities. But this was different. This reached the Secretary of Interior, the man who controlled Mexico's federal police. After surviving the torture, Cacho didn't back down. She fought her false imprisonment charges and won. Then she went after her torturers, one by one, and the officer who tortured her, alongside the governor who ordered it, were all jailed. But the cost was everything. 7 assassination attempts followed. Her dogs were poisoned, and her life became a series of safe houses and bodyguards. Finally,
Well, at least she had some protection, and she could actually hire the bodyguards.
in 2019, after surviving another attempt on her life, Cacho made the hardest decision. She went into exile.
Pérdida monumental cuando te exilias. Me dijo un médico aquí que yo tenía el síndrome de la exiliada, que es que quedas con el corazón partido.
Cacho continues investigating to this day from Spain. She exposed trafficking networks in 147 countries, written multiple books, and won over 60.
Is she still living though? Let me see. What is her name once again?
Cacho continues investigating to this day from Spain.
Cacho, okay. Cacho. Okay, that's an article in Spanish, but I don't know Spanish. Is that it? Investigadore Cacho? I think it should be. Yeah, that's she's not Russian. Uh-huh. So she's most likely leaving because what was the date of this article actually? Why is everything on Spanish? Cannot even translate here. All right, she is leaving. She's the survivor.
Spain. She exposed trafficking networks in
really a survivor.
147 countries, written multiple books, and won over 60 international awards. But every night, she dreams of returning to Mexico. Her former colleagues call her a coward for leaving. They'd prefer her as...
how would she otherwise would leave even if she wouldn't leave from the country? I cannot imagine here.
a symbol, another dead journalist. But Cacho chose something harder than martyrdom. She chose to live and keep fighting.
Y viven de nuestro miedo, ¿no? Nos dan de comer miedo y nosotros les retribuimos con la parálisis, ¿no? Con la parálisis en la opinión, con la parálisis.
Today, Kamel Nassif, the man said to have orchestrated her torture, walks free, released by the current Mexican government. But Cacho has an Interpol warrant for his arrest in other countries, and she's still hunting. Meanwhile, the next entry on this list is doing some serious hunting as well. The only difference, they're hunting for information to help the people who are fighting the good fight. And they're so good at hiding their tracks that no one even knows their names. March 2010, Mexico. A computer screen's glowing in a darkened room. Anonymous hands are typing out details of a massacre that isn't going to make the morning news. 14 bodies are found, of which 3 were missing their heads. And within minutes, thousands would read what the Mexican media was too terrified to report. A small website called Blog del Narco had just gone live. and Mexico's drug war would never be the same. The mainstream media have already surrendered after cartels killed 72 journalists between 2000 and 2010. Most newspapers stopped covering.
That's basically hunting on the journalists in Mexico. Are there any journalists even in Mexico still? I'm really doubting that journalists can even say anything about the cartels. I mean, the regular people can't, then how do the journalists can actually too? I don't think. I mean, there are consequences, as you can see now.
Drug violence entirely. TV stations looked the other way, and journalists had a good reason to fear for their lives.
5,040 pesos. No es caro. Entonces tenemos precio.
Lately, we've fallen victim to criminality, to abuse of power, situations that are beyond our control. As a media worker, I'm very worried. I trust in the authorities and ask them to do their job as they should.
Into this silence came a simple blogspot page that dared.
I mean, the authorities in Mexico will. They can't really 100% defend you because the cartels are often more powerful than authorities because of how much military power and how many people do they have. They actually really well equipped, and they have even incomparable size of their military force and equipment quality as the US Army, which is making their the resistance against them is really tough.
To document everything, the posts were clinical, almost medical in their precision. No editorializing, no sensationalism, just facts the cartels didn't want published.
3:47 a.m. 5 members of Los Zetas executed in Tamaulipas. Bodies show signs of torture. 11:23 p.m. Convoy of 20 trucks seen heading north on Highway 85. Gulf Cartel insignia is visible. Warning to residents of Reynosa. Firefight expected tonight between 8 to 10 p.m. Stay indoors.
Within months, Blog Del Narco managed to become Mexico's most read news source. Citizens finally had real-time information about the war zone they lived in. They could check which routes were safe and which neighborhoods to avoid when violence was coming. The cartels were furious. Their power depended on controlling information. Now someone was exposing their operations to millions. The death threats started immediately. Comments flooded in.
We know who you are. Your family will pay. Stop posting, or we'll skin you alive.
And Blog Del Narco posted them all. But then came the hunt. The cartels were desperate to find out who was behind the website, but the blogger or bloggers learned from previous victims. They would use proxy servers, encrypted connections, and public Wi-Fi from different locations. They never met sources in person, and they accepted payment. 2011 brought their biggest test. Maria Macias, a 39-year-old journalist who moderated a similar forum, was found dead. Her head was placed on her keyboard with a note.
I am Laredo Girl, and I am here because of my reports.
Blog Del Narco posted the photos along with the story, much to the surprise of many who were following their stories. It was clear that they had no intention of slowing down. 2013, Blog Del Narco became too big to kill.
Oh my
International
God.
media started quoting their stories, and even the
That's really dangerous situation for
authorities used them for intelligence.
For
But the
these
pressure was
people.
crushing. Posts became irregular. Sometimes weeks would pass in silence. This made their followers fear the worst. Then, in 2013, a cryptic message appeared.
We are still here. We will always be here. But the cost grows higher each day.
The blogger revealed they'd lost friends, family members, everything. They lived in constant motion, never staying anywhere too long. In 2014, a reporter who went by the alias of Lucy Brown claimed to be part of Blog Del Narco and fled to Spain seeking asylum. But the post continued, suggesting multiple people ran the site. The real identity or identities remain unknown. Today, Blog Del Narco still exists, though posts are sporadic. Its legacy lives on in dozens of similar sites. and an entire network of anonymous watchers documenting what cartels do in the darkness.
We'll keep on informing, but the most important thing is to stay alive.
Now, the entry in this next list isn't exactly a person, it's a faceless collective.
I know. The Anonymous started the war against the cartels and exposed many members. Oh my god. That's a huge operation.
Who did what no army could do. They managed to get the cartels to beg for mercy. And that's a story worth telling. October 2011, Veracruz, Mexico. A masked figure appears on YouTube, speaking through a voice modulator.
Los Zetas, you have made a grave mistake.
Anonymous?
We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget.
The hackers had just declared war on Mexico's most violent cartel.
¿Puede un grupo de hackers tener el suficiente poder como para declarar la guerra a un grupo criminal? Al parecer sí. Eso fue justamente lo que hizo un grupo autodenominado Anonymous Iberoamérica.
In the age of social media, you don't need millions of followers to be an influencer. Sometimes all you need is a Guy Fawkes mask and the ability to destroy lives with a keystroke. Anonymous had been watching as Los Zetas terrorized Mexico. They watched as journalists got murdered, bloggers disappeared, and anyone speaking out against the cartel ended up being hanged from bridges or worse. But then the Zetas made a critical error.
Torture.
They kidnapped an anonymous member in Veracruz. The hackers' response was quick. They launched Operation Paperstorm and issued an ultimatum.
Queremos que la Marina y el Ejército sepan que estamos cansados del grupo delictivo de los Zetas, que se han dedicado a secuestrar, robar y extorsionar en diversas formas, una de ellas el derecho de piso.
This wasn't an empty threat either. Anonymous had already hacked government databases, corporate servers, and intelligence agencies worldwide.
Yeah, and they are really capable of hack anything, basically.
Against the cartels. Los Zetas had never faced an enemy like this. You can't shoot a decentralized network. You can't intimidate people hiding behind 7 proxies in countries you can't even pronounce. But the Zetas had their own cyber division, and they started hunting.
Yeah, right. They've had their even cyber division. The cartels are actually really advanced in the technological aspect as well.
Followed would be the first cyber war between hackers and a drug cartel. Anonymous members reported strange cars outside their homes. IP addresses were traced, and some hackers even vanished completely. The Zetas issued their threat. For every name released, they will kill 10 innocent people in Veracruz. Inside Anonymous, panic spread. Members argued in encrypted chat rooms. Some wanted to proceed with the data dump, while others realized they were playing with forces they didn't understand.
We received expressions of solidarity as well as the voices of people crying for help. These outpourings of support serve as a powerful reminder that we are not alone in our struggle.
But support wouldn't stop bullets. As November approached, their deadline for releasing data, Anonymous members started backing out. The operation that began with dozens of hackers dwindled into just a handful. Then, unexpectedly, the Zetas blinked first. They released the kidnapped Anonymous member with no explanation. They just dropped him off in a street corner, asking Anonymous to call off their dogs in return. Anonymous declared victory and canceled Operation Paperstorm. Both sides retreated, understanding they'd nearly triggered an all-out war. And while this standoff could be seen as a happy ending, it did reveal something crucial. That even the cartels feared exposure. Anonymous had found their weakness, not with guns nor governments, but with information. Today, Mexican cartels employ full cybersecurity teams. Turns out what they learned back in 2011 is that in the digital age, a teenager with a laptop could be more dangerous than a rival cartel with automatic weapons. But while Anonymous fought with keyboards and code, our next influencer would discover that running away...
Okay, got it. I got it. The deepest disturbing TikTok iceberg. Let's see.
TikTok, a place for dances, skits, and some of the most disturbing content.
I actually haven't used TikTok ever, basically. That's just not my type of content to consume. And to be honest, I wasn't never interested in that kind of content which is TikTok influencers are producing, but yeah, I haven't really tried it, so maybe there are some content which is worth of the attention, but yeah, I just wasn't the type of the content I wanted to see, to be honest.
TikTok, a place for dancers.
As the saying says that I'm grown-ass man. I'm watching the Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, but not the TikTok.
Skits and some of the most disturbing content ever uploaded to the internet. I made this iceberg myself, and it will only get darker as we go on.
Okay.
It started like any other night for 25-year-old Hannah Viverette. She was in her apartment, listening to music, recording herself dancing for a TikTok video. She had done this dozens of times before, completely unaware of what was about to happen. Out of nowhere, her balcony door silently slid open. At first, she didn't seem to notice, but then a man stepped inside. He didn't knock, he just stood there staring.
And she uploaded. That's super scary. Oh my god. That's unreally scary.
Please get out of my apartment right now. Please get out of my apartment right now. Get out.
Did she have has a gun?
Hello?
Holy shit.
Some people thought the video might even be staged, until Hannah came out with the full story. As this wasn't a random break-in, this man had been watching her for months. After the break-in, police quickly identified the man as Angel Moises Rodriguez Gomez, a 36-year-old who lived nearby. And as the investigation continued, a much more unsettling truth came to light.
Did she have a cameras surrounding the home?
This wasn't the first time he had been near her home. For months, Hannah had noticed strange things. She had recalled seeing him near her apartment complex multiple times before, though he had never done anything to make her feel immediately threatened like this. Her balcony wasn't on the ground floor either. There was no way he could have just walked in. When the police arrived,
on which floor did she live though?
They found Angel still inside the apartment. He hadn't left, he hadn't tried to run. It was as if he thought he belonged there. He was arrested on the spot and later charged with burglary and stalking. The court set his bond at $20,000, a punishment that many felt was far too lenient, given
yeah, that is not the best punishment for that kind of action. And she has the baseball bat, but I would really doubt that she could do something with that against the man.
And what could have actually happened. As of now, there's no information about what he was sentenced to, but he was later taken into custody by US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Ava Madry wasn't trying to be famous, at least not at first. Like millions of others, she started posting short videos of herself, lip-syncing to songs, dancing, and generally following trends. Seemingly at random, she seemed to hit the algorithm at just the right time, as by the time she was 14, Ava had gained over 1 million followers. And with that kind of attention came something most teenagers don't experience: fame. At first, Ava and her family saw TikTok as an opportunity, as she wasn't just building a fan base, she was making money too. Like many influencers, she monetized her growing audience through brand deals and paid interactions. But with that success came something darker. Among the thousands of comments and messages, some stood out. They weren't just from fans who liked her videos, they were from people who were obsessed. Ava had no way of knowing that one of these followers would eventually change her life. His name was Eric Rowe.
These parasocial relationships are making me uneasy, to be honest.
And Justin, an 18-year-old from Maryland, and his interest in Ava wasn't exactly healthy. Eric followed her every move online, watching her videos over and over again. And he wasn't just leaving comments like everyone else, he was sending her hundreds of messages, trying to get her attention. When he wasn't getting the responses he hoped for, he tried something else, sending her money. Through Cash App, Eric sent hundreds of dollars to Ava, hoping she'd acknowledge him. But Eric wasn't just tipping her for her content, he wanted more. At one point, he even asked Ava for personal photos, not just TikTok videos, but private pictures, just for him. And she and her parents agreed. For $300, Ava sold photos of herself smiling for the camera to Eric. But when Eric started asking for more explicit photos, that was when Ava finally blocked him. She figured that would be the end of it, though she was wrong. Instead of backing off, Eric became more desperate. Through rigorous searching and clues spread throughout her social media, Eric soon discovered where Ava lived. Then, on July 10th, 2021, Eric put a plan into motion. At 4:30 a.m., while Ava and her family were asleep, Eric showed up at their house, carrying a shotgun. Without warning, he fired a round through the door, shattering the early morning silence. The blast jolted Ava and her family awake. This was no longer just an online obsession, but Eric himself wasn't prepared for what would happen next. Ava's father, a retired police officer, grabbed his own gun and rushed towards the door. He saw Eric outside, still...
What the hell? That's the whole shooting and the police officer, former police officer involved too. It's the action film right there.
The shotgun, still trying to get inside. He knew his family was in danger, so he took action. Stepping outside, he fired his own weapon, striking Eric. The obsessed fan collapsed onto the ground, and the threat was over. When police arrived at the scene, they found
W
Eric
for the father.
Lifeless outside the Majuri home, his shotgun still beside him. For Ava and her family, the reality of what just happened almost seemed impossible to process. A fan from
Her father is a real hero.
TikTok had traveled hundreds of miles, stalked them, and tried to break in with a gun. If her father hadn't acted, what would have happened? But this wasn't the end of the ordeal. There was another twist. After the shooting, investigators searched Eric's phone and online activity, and what they found was deeply disturbing. He had been planning this for literal months. There were messages.
Hey, I'm doing good. What about you?
Notes, and a search history that showed he was obsessed with Ava and fully intended to harm her. And even worse, he...
Not the first stream, but I didn't stream too much, to be honest. I mean, I'm streaming for about a few months. So, yeah. Enjoy the stream.
wasn't acting alone. Detectives discovered that Eric had been in contact with other people online discussing Ava. He had encouraged others to harass her, and in some messages, he even hinted that he was willing to pay someone to help him attack her family. Even worse is that one of the people Eric was in contact with was a pupil at the same school Ava went to. The police ruled the shooting as justified self-defense, and no charges were filed against Ava's father. Madison Russo, a 19-year-old college student from Iowa, claims she was facing the fight of her life, one that no teenager should ever have to endure. According to her social media posts, Madison had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, a rare and aggressive disease.
Yeah, pancreatic thing. That is about the digestive system, I don't know.
As well as leukemia. To make matters even worse, she said that doctors had discovered a tumor the size of a football wrapped around her spine. Her emotional TikTok videos and GoFundMe campaigns painted the picture of a young woman fighting for her life. She spoke about the grueling effects of chemotherapy and the emotional toll of her diagnosis, inspiring thousands with her resilience.
So right now I'm watching the deepest disturbing TikTok iceberg, and yeah, I think I'll skip to the most insidious part, to the deepest part after this one.
Speeches at universities.
Because this video is quite long. It's about an hour.
Stay strong no matter the odds. Sympathy soon turned into action though, as over 400 people donated nearly $40,000 to help her with what they believed were overwhelming medical bills. Fellow cancer survivors and kind strangers alike wanted to support her fight. But while most saw a brave survivor, a few saw something a little bit strange. For one, her medical equipment looked wrong. In some photos, her chemotherapy port was placed incorrectly. In others, the wires and tubing she showed didn't quite match the real-life medical devices used for cancer treatments. To the average person, most of these details would have probably gone unnoticed, but to doctors, nurses, and real cancer patients who had gone through all the treatment, the inconsistencies were pretty obvious. Someone eventually tipped off the authorities, prompting an investigation into Madison's medical history. Now, gathering money under false...
So, yeah, that's how I assumed it. She were faking the whole medical history and then fundraising her fake healing process, something like this.
Pretenses, like faking having cancer to raise donations, is actually very illegal. Authorities also took this case very seriously because of how far her deception went. She was actively giving public speeches about her illness at colleges, whilst also appearing in local news stories. Perhaps unsurprisingly, investigators confirmed that Madison had been faking cancer. They charged her with first-degree theft, a felony in Iowa. In court, Madison pleaded...
Yeah, she's not looking like a permanently ill person from these video footages.
Guilty to the charges. Given the scale of her deception, many expected quite a harsh punishment, but in a slightly controversial decision, the judge sentenced her to 10 years of probation, sparing her from prison. She was also ordered to complete 100 hours of community service and pay $39,000 in restitution to the people she had scammed.
Gosh, that's so much actually. 39,000. Damn. So what about the other layers of the iceberg? I'm not going to watch the whole vid, so I will skip to the deepest part. Yeah, that's the deepest, or not? Angel, oh my god.
Jin Kid's real name is Ali. Jin Kid's real
1000 Phantoms. I'll skip to the darkest parts, I think. Abyssal part.
Now on level 5 of the iceberg. Louise Cam was a successful businesswoman living in Hertfordshire in England. At 71 years old, she had built a comfortable life managing rental properties, including a £1.3 million house in Barnet and a shop with 3 flats in Willesden. That's when she met Kusai Al-Jundi, a 25-year-old chef who worked in a restaurant in Willesden. He was charming.
I know this story actually. I think I know it. Ray William Johnson uncovered it. That he just murdered this woman, but I'm not actually remembering the details. So yeah, I can watch it again.
Confident and always had a way with words. He talked about his wealth, his powerful connections, and how he could make things happen. It wasn't before long he introduced Louise to a new business proposal, one that seemed too good to pass up. Kasai claimed to have a wealthy girlfriend named Anna, who was eager to invest in property. According to him, she was ready to buy both of Louise's properties for £4.6 million, offering a fast, off-the-books deal that would would benefit everyone involved. Louise had been considering selling, and if Kasai was telling the truth, this would be an easy and profitable transaction. But she wasn't dealing with an ordinary buyer. Unbeknownst to her, Kasai was not the businessman he claimed to be. He had no money, no high-profile connections, and no intention of following through on the deal. Behind the scenes, something much darker was taking shape. To make his plan work, Kasai brought in Mohammed El Aboud, a 28-year-old delivery driver. As a man in a difficult financial situation, Mohammed was willing to do whatever it took to help his friend secure the deal. Together, they made sure everything was in its place. On July 26, 2021, Louise was invited to Kasai's home in Barnet, where she expected to finalize the property transfer. She had no reason to suspect anything was wrong, though once she arrived, at some point during the visit, Mohammed launched a violent attack. He strangled Louise with a hairdryer cord in a cold-blooded act. With Louise dead, Kasai and Mohammed now had a major problem. The plan had always been to take her properties, but now they had a body to hide. Their solution was equally as disturbing. They stuffed Louise into a wheelie bin right there at the property. Instead of disposing of it immediately, they left her there, hidden from view, as they put the rest of their scheme into motion. Over the next 48 hours, Kasai attempted to fake Louise's presence. Using her phone, he sent text messages to her friends, family, and business contacts, pretending she was still alive. He told her sons that she had gone away with her friend and wouldn't be available for a while. But deception can only go so far. Louise's family and friends
that separation wouldn't last too long.
Immediately grew suspicious. The messages just didn't sound like her, and the way they were written felt off.
How would they mimic her behavior if they didn't really interact with her too much?
They were too vague and too unlike the direct and business-minded woman they knew. Meanwhile, Kasai and Mohammed weren't acting like men trying to cover up a crime. In fact, they were celebrating. Rather than lying low, Mohammed filmed himself dancing with his girlfriend in one of Louise's properties and posted the video to TikTok. He had literally just committed a murder and now he was smiling for the camera. In another clip, he shows off his brand new car, which of course also belonged to Louise. Mohammed was playing the role of a wealthy, carefree young man, pretending he had come into money through legitimate means.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
In reality, he was flaunting items he didn't have and living on borrowed time. Kasai, meanwhile, was busy trying to secure his prize. Earlier that month, he had convinced Louise to sign a lasting power of attorney document, which basically gives him control over her financial affairs. He also obtained signed property transfer forms.
Actually, a good property.
Which would allow him to take ownership of her properties.
Nicely looking.
Without paying a single penny. In Kasai's mind, everything was set, and with her now out the way as they planned, he wasted no time to sell her
But the relatives, the friends, 100% were suspicious already because of the responses from this guy on the phone, disguised as the owner of the houses, and that's just cannot continue for more than a week.
Properties. He contacted an associate claiming that Louise had already handed them over to him and began looking for buyers. He thought he had pulled off the perfect crime, but the cracks were already forming in his grand plan. Louise's family was asking too many questions. Her properties were also still legally tied to her name, and the videos that Mohammed was taking in her properties was about to bring everything crashing down. On July 28, 2021, 2 days after Louise was last seen, her family had reported her missing. The police immediately launched an investigation, retracing her last known movements. It didn't take long for them to zero in on the people she had last been in contact with, Mohammed and Kasai. When questioned by the authorities, Kasai tried to maintain his facade. He repeated the story he had been pushing through the text messages, that Louise had gone away on a trip and that he had nothing to do with her disappearance. But detectives simply weren't buying it. By this point, the reckless social media activity, particularly the TikTok videos, had raised suspicions. As the pressure mounted, the truth unraveled. Just days after her disappearance, police discovered Louise Cam's body. She was found stuffed inside that same wheelie bin, though she had been moved to Wood End Road in Harrow, where it was concealed under garden waste. Mohammed El Aboud and Qusay Al Jundi were arrested and charged with Louise's murder. In 2022,
Yeah,
the
that's
pair were
really
each
fucked up.
sentenced to life in prison with a
Yeah,
minimum.
that's really disturbing. They basically dance it under under the grave of the woman.
Term of
Violent
35 years.
dogs.
In the quiet suburbs of Las
Ah.
Vegas, 16-year-old Sierra Hulseth and 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero thought they had found something special, something no one else could understand. They were young, in love, and inseparable. But their love had one major problem: Sierra's father, Daniel Hulseth. Daniel didn't approve of Aaron in the slightest. He saw their relationship as reckless and dangerous. Maybe he thought Sierra was too young to be so deeply involved with someone older. Whatever his reasons, he made one thing very clear: Sierra
Actually,
was
he's
forbidden.
looking so good for his age. I think. I don't think that he's about like 50. I think he's about like 40 years old. He's looking super well.
From seeing Aaron. For most teenagers, a breakup like this would be heartbreaking but temporary. Parents set rules and kids eventually move on. But Sierra and Aaron weren't like most teenagers. Behind closed doors and over text messages, the two teens started discussing something unthinkable. What if Daniel wasn't around anymore? What if they didn't have to hide, lie, or sneak around? What if they could just make him disappear? It might have started like a fantasy, an angry thought said aloud, but as the days passed, the idea stopped sounding impossible.
Oh my
It started sounding
God.
like a real plan.
Really?
And unlike the way most people fantasize about extreme ideas but never act on them, Sierra and Aaron took their dark thoughts one step further. They began researching. They talked about what they would need to do. The planning wasn't rushed, it was calculated. This wasn't a crime of passion, a sudden moment of anger turning deadly. This was something different, something colder. Their plan involved not just killing Daniel, but making sure no one would ever know they were responsible. They would cover their tracks, escape together, and start
Two teens. Yeah, that's really fucked up. That's so fucked
a
up.
new life far away. The details of the plan aren't all public, but what we do know.
But how would they set up the life far away if they were teens? If they've needed to go to school or some shit?
Is chilling. They discussed ways to get rid of evidence. They planned how they'd clean up afterwards. And most disturbingly, they talked about what life would be like once Daniel was out of the picture, as if his life was just a problem that needed to be solved. At this point, it was no longer just a theory or wild teenage idea. They had made up their minds, and all that was left was to put their plan into motion. On April 9th, 2021, that's exactly what they did. Daniel Hulseth had no idea what was coming. He was at home, likely thinking about everyday concerns, work, bills, his daughter's future. But as he went about his evening, Sierra and Aaron were waiting for the right moment to strike. The attack was brutal. Daniel was ambushed with a knife by his own daughter and Aaron. Reports later revealed that he had suffered at least 70 different wounds. The two teens didn't just kill Daniel, they made sure there was no chance he could survive. The attack wasn't clean, quick, or quiet, but even after the murder, their plan wasn't over. They had another problem: the crime scene. Sierra and Aaron took their next step. They tried to set the house on fire.
I mean, they were teenagers, and this guy was really big, but still, I think if he would be. If he wouldn't be ambushed, so if he would be at least knowing that something is going wrong and could defend himself possibly, but yeah, it's really hard to imagine the situation, what happened.
To destroy any trace of what they had done. Flames began to spread throughout the house, but despite their efforts, the fire didn't do enough to cover up the crime. Security footage later captured the teens at a nearby store buying bleach, gloves, and other cleaning supplies, attempting to erase their involvement. But no amount of cleaning could undo what they had done. With Daniel's body lying in his burning home, Sierra and Aaron didn't panic. They didn't break down. Instead, they moved forward with their plan. They emptied Daniel's bank account, withdrawing thousands of dollars to fund their escape. Then they packed their bags and disappeared, thinking they had left no trace behind. But what you're probably wondering is what this has
How
to do
would
with
they
TikTok.
even live by themselves if they were just teenagers? I'm highly doubt that they could even live outside of their parents' houses. So that was the fucked up plan from this side.
Well, what they did next was probably the most disturbing part of the entire case. Instead of laying low, staying quiet, or showing any sign of guilt, Sierra and Aaron did the unthinkable. They recorded a video. In the short TikTok, we see the two teenagers together, smiling and laughing.
Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Wow! Don't put that on camera.
It was worth it.
And no bleeding this time.
Mm-hmm.
We got through that.
The video became one of the many pieces of evidence in the case, as it was proof they didn't see what they had done as a mistake. They saw it as a shared experience, something that bonded them even further. Meanwhile, back in Las Vegas, authorities were quickly piecing things together. The fire hadn't completely destroyed the crime scene, and it didn't take long for investigators to realize that Daniel Horsif's death wasn't an accident. With the evidence stacking up, police launched a manhunt for Sierra and Aaron. The two had taken off, traveling across states in an attempt to disappear, but their freedom wouldn't last long. Just 3 days later, on April 13th, 2021, the couple was found and arrested in Salt Lake City, Utah. In early 2023, both Sierra and Aaron took plea deals to avoid a trial. They pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and arson. By taking the deal, they avoided the possibility of a harsher sentence, but their punishment was still severe. On April 8th, 2023, Sierra was sentenced to 20 years to life in prison, and a month later, in March, Aaron received the same sentence, 20 years to life. Nicola Priest's TikTok account seemed like a window into the life of a loving young mother. She posted videos that painted a picture of happiness, dancing, smiling, and lip-syncing to
Don't just say that something will happen with the daughter.
popular songs. Her daughter, Kaylee Jade, often
that's
appeared in
just
these
too
videos,
bad.
laughing and playing along, just like
But
any
mostly
other
that
carefree
something will happen with daughter. 100%.
toddler. But behind closed doors, the reality was much darker than anyone watching could have imagined. Social media is built on appearances. People purposely show the best parts of their lives. But those watching her TikTok videos didn't see what was happening behind the screen.
But
They
not
didn't hear
the best parts of the body, I guess.
the cries of a 3-year-old being mistreated. They didn't see the text messages she sent to her boyfriend, Callum Redfern, joking about punishing Kaylee Jade when she misbehaved. They didn't know that the same woman filming playful TikToks was also ignoring her daughter's pain. On the night of August 8th, 2020, the illusion of happiness Nicola Priest had crafted online shattered completely. Sometime between the evening and early hours of the next morning, something horrific happened inside her apartment in Solihull, England. Her 3-year-old daughter, Kaylee Jade, suffered fatal injuries. Injuries so severe that experts later compared them to those of a child in a high-speed car crash. At 11:17 a.m. the next day, Nicola dialed 999. Her voice was panicked as she told the operator that her daughter wasn't breathing. Paramedics arrived at the flat within minutes, but it was already too late. Kaylee Jade's body was lifeless, showing clear signs of a brutal attack. It was clear that Nicola had been physical with her. Despite the extreme circumstances, Nicola and her boyfriend Callum acted as though they had no idea what had happened. They told paramedics that Kaylee Jade had simply fallen asleep and never woken up, but doctors who examined her body obviously knew the truth. As investigators combed through the scene, disturbing details began to emerge. Neighbors reported hearing loud noises and thuds coming from the apartment the night before. Some even recalled hearing Kaylee Jade crying. Then, the autopsy confirmed what detectives feared. Kaylee Jade had died from blunt force trauma. She had been subjected to ongoing abuse, with previous injuries showing she had suffered long before that fatal night. And as police continued their investigation, they found more damning evidence. Messages between Nicola and Callum laughing about punishing the toddler when she didn't behave. Nicola had presented herself as the devoted mother on TikTok, but in reality, she had failed Kaylee Jade in almost every way possible. The little girl who once appeared in her videos was now gone, and the truth about what happened inside that apartment was finally beginning to unravel. Nicola and Callum both sat in court, accused of causing or allowing the death of a child. From the start, it was clear that
Is it
neither
alleged? Is the trial still going?
Of them wanted to take responsibility. Instead, they turned on each other. Nicola claimed that Callum had been the one to inflict the fatal injuries, while Callum insisted that he had only arrived at the apartment after the abuse had already taken place. But the evidence told a very different story, one where both were guilty. The court heard about the disturbing messages Nicola and Callum had exchanged in the days leading up to Kaylee Jade's death. These texts revealed that both of them had been frustrated with the toddler and had joked about punishing her. One message from Callum even suggested that they should, quote, boot Kaylee Jade when she misbehaved. The prosecution argued that these messages showed a pattern of mistreatment and a complete lack of care for the child's well-being. As the trial progressed, the jury saw the stark difference between the image Nicola Priest had created online and the reality of her behavior as a mother. Clips from her TikTok were played in court, showing her smiling and singing just weeks before her daughter's death. But those videos meant nothing when compared to the brutal evidence of what had really happened. In August 2021, the verdict was finally delivered. Nicola Priest was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Callum Redfern was also convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 14 years. But what makes this case even worse is what Nicola did after her daughter had already died. In the days following Kaylee Jade's death, but before her arrest,
They danced 100%. Like this mother would 100% sure did some wild shit in the TikTok, like danced like nothing happened or some shit.
Nicola continued posting TikTok videos as if nothing had happened.
Yeah,
Instead
exactly,
of mourning,
exactly.
she kept uploading videos of herself dancing to songs and posing for the camera. In one video, she performed a dance routine to the song
Monster.
I Wanna Be Your Lady, with no sign of sadness or remorse. These videos became a key piece of outrage when the case went to trial. Many people couldn't comprehend how a mother who had just lost her child in such a violent way could carry on as if nothing had happened at all. And that concludes today's video. If you want something else to watch,
Okay, that was the deepest disturbing TikTok iceberg. So let's see the next one.
Wow. Say.
This is pathetic and gross, and John Jones is game over, I think.
Wow.
Say that's not for real. Say
Rick's
psych
broken
right now.
heart. Who does he cheer for
Rings
here?
of Thrones.
Okakui or his
Ring of
guy,
Thrones.
This can't be real.
What
Three
did
out of the
this?
4 names are MMA guys. Is Misfits going down the MMA boxing path? What the hell?
What happens if Tony Ferguson gets knocked out by Salt Papi?
Nothing. I mean, he just does another fight.
Papi's striking not that bad, by the way. It's not that bad.
I'm just saying.
Who's the favorite in the co-main?
Probably Salt Papi.
Probably Salt Papi.
What the hell?
All right, so I was having a perfectly good time watching the Dustin Poirier clips coming out from this fight week, paid in full, but then the news of Tony Ferguson's next fight was announced, and honestly, it's made me a bit depressed. Now, this is coming right off the heels of another boxing
How could it would be even more depressing that he didn't end his career and still fighting while having a PTSD, I think, allegedly. By his actions, that could be seen pretty much.
match that's perhaps even more exploitative and gross, and at this point I feel the need to talk about the absolute dumpster fire that is the current state of influencer boxing, because I don't know who needs to hear this, but putting old washed up UFC fighters in the ring against random influencers or even against other old washed up UFC fighters is genuinely getting pathetic, and it's not something that's being done in good faith. Say what you will about Dana, because God knows I've said a lot about him, but the guy actually has some boundaries when it comes to matchmaking. These fights are being greenlit by companies that are clearly exploiting the name values of these former stars while completely ignoring their medical history, age, recent performances, and the fact that some of them are literally one more knockout away from being in permanent nap mode. And yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about all this and more. Man, the fact that they have Tony Ferguson, who's 41 years old and riding an 8-fight losing streak, signed to get punched in the face for a check by a social
He's
media...
barely speaking though right now. I wonder what he's doing in the regular life, how is he performs and he also beaten his wife as well. So that doesn't make his appearance in any good light.
Media influencer named Salt Poppy is absurd. And I get that there's a negative connotation when it comes to these influencer boxers and their skill level, but honestly, Salt Poppy's pretty damn good. As opposed to the other bozo TikTokers that are pretending to be fighters, this dude actually has hands. And although Salt Poppy's by no means a legitimate professional boxer, I still think that he has more than what it takes to beat up Tony in a boxing match, given where he's currently at in his career and his life.
So you're doing what Khabib could never do, is fight Tony Ferguson?
I guess.
What did he say? Career and life?
It's quite a good accolade to hold. Do you feel like you're sort of going the Jake Paul route in terms of fighting the MMA fighters, fighting the guys from the UFC?
I mean, I just want to take the biggest opportunity I can have while I'm in the sport, while I'm young.
Because yes, Tony's 41 years old, which isn't outrageously old, but when it comes to fighting, there's good 41 years old and there's bad 41 years old, and let's just say that I think Tony's the latter. On one hand, you have guys like Yoel Romero, who's 48 and about...
How could you even put the Yoel Romero here? He's just an experiment. He's barely human, I would say. He's that shape that every 20 years old would ever want. So in his 40s, he's just an alien or the subspecies or whatever. But he's just the really bad example of the person in his 40s as the fighter in the good shape. I mean, he's just too unique.
To fight in BKFC, which is objectively way more brutal than traditional boxing, but at the same time, I'm far less concerned for Yoel in his upcoming fight because he hasn't been a human punching bag in his last few fights like Tony has. Given I'm like 80% sure Yoel was given the super soldier serum when he was in the womb, but my point remains, based on Tony's recent performances, he just isn't fit to be fighting anymore, especially when his opponent is a generally competent boxer. He hasn't won a fight in over 6 years, he's lost 8 fights in a row since then, and he was finished in most of them. He has been repeatedly beaten into the mat by every style of fighter under the sun, from wrestlers to strikers to jiu-jitsu guys. Honestly, at this point, if he were to get into a fight with a yoga instructor, I might actually put my money on the yoga guy. He has lost all of the speed and cardio that made him such a force during his prime. His once legendary chin's been cracked to the point where it's become powder, and he relied on his gritty style so much to the point where he never truly developed solid fundamentals. And this is me talking about how his career went in his trade as an MMA fighter. So when Misfits Boxing decides to throw him into a boxing match against a younger, more active fighter, it just feels a little bit gross. Like, could they not have found a more suitable opponent for the guy? He's clearly being set up as a sacrificial lamb, and it's pathetic that they're literally dragging his corpse out of the UFC graveyard in order to prop up one of their guys. Tony Ferguson should not be fighting anymore, period. Not in MMA, not in boxing, not even in Wii boxing. The man has taken more damage in the last 5 years than some fighters do in an entire career.
I do agree with that. He just should stop the career. I mean, of course he can do whatever he wants, but that's just not makes him. I mean, if he will stop the career, it will not make him permanently ill or even dead, because some casualties of the death after the fight happened before, and he's at risk right now.
Zoom out to his entire career, then he's taken several lifetimes worth of damage. But the worst part is that Tony is still even taking fights, because deep down he still thinks he's got more left in the tank. Listen, I'm not blind to the fact that Tony is a certified crazy person who has always been detached from reality, and I also agree that he's a grown-ass man and he can make his own decisions. But at the end of the day, when there's a guy like him who doesn't know when to call it quits, then this is where any self-respecting promotion, and especially athletic commissions, need to step in and say no for him. And of course, a company that goes by the name Misfits Boxing isn't going to have the backbone to refuse signing a recognizable name, but what athletic commission over there in England agreed that this is a fight that's worth approving? Tony was once the scariest guy at 155, but now he's just a cautionary tale about the importance of being able to step away at the right time. Misfits Boxing should be embarrassed for greenlighting this. This is bottom feeder matchmaking disguised as crossover content. And this is just good advice for life in general, but it applies to Tony, Misfits, and the English Commission. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Okay, I gotta move on to the next fight, which is Vitor Belfort versus Vanderlei Silva 2. Now let me...
Are they in the same card, actually? I wonder if they will be in the same card. That will be too many washed up old fighters in the same place in the same time.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is this rematch that's taking place in boxing in 2025 more or less dumb than Tony fighting Salt Poppy? Because at least they're the same age, they have the same mileage and wear and tear, so in that sense it's much more of an even playing field. Regardless, why? Who asked for this? Who even wanted this? What the hell are we even doing here? These two are a combined 97 years old. The last time they fought was in 1998 when gas was 106 a gallon and Vanderlei still had a normal looking face. Is this really a fight that needs to happen? It's bizarre. Lately, boxing has been really impressing me with how they've been outworking and out-promoting the UFC, but then fights like these will be announced that makes me wonder what the fuck is going on in these promoters' heads. For those of you who are unaware, the company that set up this fight is the same company that organized the Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen boxing match, and if you haven't seen that fight, then just know that it went exactly as you think it did. I can't help but find myself asking if this company, which is a fucking beer company by the way, is willing to fork up the money to organize boxing matches with names people recognize, then why don't they sign fighters who are below the age of, oh, I don't know, 40? And again, I get it. Vitor and Vanderlei agreed to do it, and the rumors are that they're getting paid way more money than they reasonably should to be putting on this freak show. And when I say freak show, I mean that this is two guys that are nearly 50 years old who are almost certainly going to be juiced up on every steroid under the sun, rematching damn near 2 decades after their first fight. I mean, we know for sure that Vitor is going to be hopped up on the roids heading into this one, and if Vanderlei has half a brain, which sometimes I question if he actually does, then he'll be as well. Like, is this really what people want to see? A pair of 50-year-old Brazilian science experiments fighting? Maybe that's interesting to you guys, but I can't say it is for me. Also, are we really going to pretend that this fight is going to actually sell pay-per-views? Seriously, who is this for? Hardcore MMA fans don't want to see this because it's depressing. Boxing fans won't care because neither guy is a boxer, and the casuals have no clue who either of these guys are. The people booking this fight still think we're living in 2011 when these names held weight. What's even more insulting is that both of these guys are legends in their own right. Vitor was the youngest UFC tournament winner in history. Vanderlei was one of the most feared champions in Pride. It's sad, it's undignified, and it's a prime example of how there are bad actors in the combat sports world that have no regard for the long-term health or legacy of the legends. And you might be saying that I was just crying about Tony fighting a younger man, but now I'm crying about two old guys fighting each other, so I'm contradicting myself, but no, I'm not. My point here is that these geriatric has-beens should not be fighting anymore at all. With where Tony, Vitor, and Vanderlei find themselves in their careers and just their lives in general, they shouldn't be fighting anybody young, old, in between. It really doesn't matter. It's just dumb that they're still being matched up with anyone in the first place. The final fight that I want to talk about is Luke Rockhold versus Darren Till, which is taking place as the main event on the...
I mean, they quite of the washed up fighters, but they are at least not that old like the people before. So it's
same card as Ferguson versus Salt Poppy.
Darren's tough, you know, he's a tough guy, but he's got a breaking point. I think he's complacent at times, and I think he's...
Yeah, I mean, if that's even if that's a boxing match, I would still bet on the Rockhold just because the Till showed that he's not the best fighter, I would say.
Until, which is taking place as the main event on the same card as Ferguson versus Salt Poppy.
Darren's tough, you know, he's a tough guy, but he's got a breaking point. I think he's complacent at times, and I think there are going to be openings, and I can pressure him. I can hit him. You know, people haven't seen me in the boxing ring. I can move, and my boxing has come a long ways. I mean, this is the last art of mixed martial arts I put together, and you know, you know, I like being a complete fighter, and I feel over the years I've closed those gaps, and I'm the best I've ever been.
And you know what? I'm pretty okay with this one. At least this fight makes sense. Sure, they're both past their primes. Yes, they both have the durability of wet cardboard at this point, but at least this matchup doesn't feel like an open casket funeral. Both guys are washed, but still have some gas left in the tank. They're still in decent shape, and they still can put on a good performance.
That's a fine match, I would see.
But the fact that this is the praise that I have to offer compared to the other two fights is insane. Like, is this really the bar that we're operating with now? Combat sports has always had an issue with letting go of its stars, but this new trend of throwing old, broken fighters into influencer boxing rings is a new low. And apparently, I guess this model somehow works. I mean, they wouldn't be putting on these fights if it didn't make money, right? And it's not because the fights are good fights. It's because the promoters know they can squeeze the last few drops of name recognition out of these guys before the commissions or God himself finally steps in and says enough. We're watching the slow motion death of fighter legacies, and nobody that's actually a fan of MMA or boxing finds any interest in these matches. Tony Ferguson doesn't need one last dance. Vanderlei Silva doesn't need revenge against Vitor. Influencer boxing was supposed to be dumb fun, but somewhere along the line it turned to a combat sports grave robbing operation. Hey, I will be the first one to agree that Dana White is a scumbag in his own right, with his own very unique brand of scumbagginess to boot, and he has made some really questionable signings in the past, and UFC matchmaking these days hasn't been great, but I gotta give credit where it's due. He's pretty good at recognizing when it becomes unethical or morally reprehensible to keep a washed up fighter on the roster. He was a bit late to the party when it came to guys like Tony and maybe even BJ Penn, but I do think his track record in this area has been solid enough. Damn, it feels wrong to be giving Dana White props. And for every legitimate promotion like BKFC that sprouts up out of nowhere, there's 10 more promotions that are taking shortcuts and making pathetic matchups just to make a quick buck. Tony, Vitor, and Vanderlei are so over the hill that when they turn around, the hill's barely
the
even...
competition is really high among these leagues, and every league wants to earn as much money as possible and make everything from the opportunities they have, and if they will have the opportunity to sign up the washed up old fighters with the names, which can actually attract some viewers, they will organize it 100%.
Invisible in the distance, and they should absolutely not be allowed to fight under any circumstances, yet here they are in 2025. I really hope that these companies like Misfits and Spa10 grow a conscience soon, but I highly doubt that they will. If you offer enough money to any 40-plus-year-old fighter, they will probably say yes, but that doesn't make it right. And again, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. Anyways, that's the video for today. Definitely let me know what you think about the fights that I just talked about. Do you think that the fighters should be allowed to fight as long as they're willing to?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty much agree with the author of the video.
I don't give a...
Let's see the next one. Idiot cops who tried messing with high-ranking soldiers.
I don't give a... I don't give a... And now I'm getting mad.
When police officers clash with authority figures, things can get complicated. Here are 4 times when misguided cops crossed paths with high-ranking soldiers.
Have you spread asphalt waste on Moose Mountain? Are you gonna let me tell you the answer to the question? I've been waiting for...
I mean, it's basically about who is right, who is wrong. If the cop is wrong, then okay, but like, all right, let's just see.
Yes, answer the question. Never let me speak. You lying bastard! You called the police when I went to the highway department to ask you about it. You lied. You sat there in court while they lied about it. You can't even talk. You don't. Just answer yes or no. How hard is it for you? Yes or no answer. It is. Have you spread asphalt waste on Moose Mountain? It's not asphalt waste. It's recycled asphalt. It's asphalt waste. Is it new asphalt? Is it ground asphalt? What's under your feet? What's under your feet, Dave?
This is veteran David Vincelette. When David Vinceletti went back to his hometown in November 2015, he discovered some workers close to his home whom he had been accusing of pouring asphalt waste into his water supply. There is a history between Mr. Vincelette and the laborers, who are members of the town of Hanover. See the exchange that transpires between him and Public Works Director Peter Kolboki when he finds them, escorted by police outside his house.
So, Everybody's ready to smash my stuff and take it.
So these guys should be recorded and file a lawsuit against these officers, because that's an obviously legal action.
I'm asking you again. Have you spread asphalt waste? Have you spread asphalt waste on Moose Mountain? Have you spread asphalt waste on Moose Mountain?
Even let me tell you the answer to the question.
I've been waiting for years. Yes, answer the question.
You never let me speak.
You lying bastard. You called the police when I went to the highway department to ask you about it. You lied. You sat there in court while they lied about it.
They already have a
Just
trial.
answer yes or no. How hard is it for you?
Yes or no answer.
It is. Have you spread asphalt waste on Moose Mountain?
It's not asphalt waste. It's recycled asphalt.
It's asphalt waste. Is it new asphalt? Is it ground asphalt?
What's under your feet? What's under your feet, Dave?
Hello. You have to answer questions
I'm
honestly.
The question.
Yes.
No, we do not put waste. It's a recycled product.
It's asphalt, ground up asphalt. It's a ground up asphalt.
It's a recycled product. It's allowed by law.
And did you sit in court while the town attorney stated it was never spread upstream from my drinking water?
No, the question
yes, you did.
Question.
You're lying to me.
Do I speak anymore, or do I just say
you have to tell the truth?
I'm done talking with you, David. We've already answered this question.
You just answered the question on tape for Cat V Studios, okay?
Fine. But you have no right to video me. You have no right.
Really? Well, I did. Really? Okay.
You need to move your truck.
You need to go.
Your truck.
You need to go to jail.
Move your truck.
You've admitted
stuff out of the right way as well.
You have no. You've just admitted federal crimes.
No.
Yes, you have. You admitted perjury, and you've done federal crimes. Yes, it is. You have asphalt waste that's being held in violation of state and federal law with paint and other materials.
Asphalt waste.
And the town manager has already testified.
It's recycled asphalt. It's allowed by EPA.
It is not.
The number one violation.
It is not.
What court said actually in this case?
It is not allowed.
I'm interested.
It is not allowed to enter state waters.
It's not allowed to be put in there on purpose. Sure.
Oh, by accident it's okay. No, it is not. It's a crime.
Have you ever?
It's a crime. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with you. You have lied and dissembled for years.
Is it allowed?
You have lied and dissembled for years, and it's going to come back on you. They got little tiny orange jumpsuits, buddy. Trust me. You're threatening me with prison now?
No.
Oh, you just did. You just did. First, you've admitted you lied in court. You've admitted the town attorney.
Please move your truck.
I'm not going anywhere, brother.
If you remove the vehicle so we can get down and start cleaning up.
Listen to me. I am a federal officer required to uphold the Constitution.
Are you refusing?
You have just admitted federal crimes.
Are you refusing
under state law? I have an obligation to enforce the law against the town.
Answering the question, you're refusing to move your vehicle. Is that correct?
You have no authority over me. You work for me.
No, I don't.
You have. Yes, you do. Yes, and I am part of the public.
Refusing to move your vehicle.
I am doing what the law requires. I have an obligation.
David?
I have an obligation under state law not to let a town do illegal activity. You have just admitted to me that you committed a federal crime and state crimes.
To remove your vehicle.
I'm asking the questions. You work for me. Yes, you work for me.
You're in the right of way. Are you refusing to move your vehicle?
I am allowed.
Are you
under the deed?
Move your vehicle?
I am allowed.
You're not allowed to block.
I am allowed at any time. At any time for any reason.
You're a taxpayer.
I'm allowed at any time.
Yes. I got money sitting over there. You want to waste tax money sitting here waiting for you to answer the question?
Yes, I do.
Should I send them away because you're going to not move?
You should send them away because they're being involved in federal crimes.
So you're not going to move?
You are doing it. I have an obligation under state law.
Are you going to move or not?
When I want to, I'll move.
So you're not going to move?
So he's the former soldier blocks this guy's car because he thinks that the authorities actually, and this guy in particular, dumped the asphalt waste in his river, from which he's actually drinking water, something like this.
You refuse to my orders.
Mr. Vincelet's skill as an environmentalist is evident. He accuses the workers of committing a felony by dumping asphalt waste. Later on, Mr. Vincelet was forced to leave the area at the request of a police officer. A few years later, in November 2017, Mr. Vincelet was rushed to the hospital right away after being arrested for contempt of court following an incident that was similar to this one. He was accused of resisting arrest as well, but if you believe that this was the last time a police officer attempted to intimidate soldiers, you have most likely not seen the next case.
Yeah, that wasn't the nicest action
Please.
from the officer.
So I'm just going to stay here.
I need you to leave. If you can wait up there, I think.
It's a public road.
Okay, I'm
not obstructing traffic.
I'm asking. So you're obstructing this traffic stop. So can you just please? There's a parking lot up there. Please just go up there.
I'm going to make sure that my sister.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
I observe that.
Okay. She's somehow connected to the military? Maybe she's the document specialist or something.
So now I am telling you, I'm not asking you. You need to go.
What law am I breaking?
I'm telling you, you need to go. Because it's not safe for you to be here.
Why is it not safe
because.
to be here?
This is combat veteran Shelley. On December 18th,
Combat veteran, oh my gosh.
2021, Ms.
I
Boone was pulled over by Santa
wouldn't
Rosa
really think that she will be a combat veteran.
County Sheriff's
Shelley.
Office officer Carlos D'Souza when she was driving in Florida and trailing her sister, Ms. Shelley. It is said that Ms. Boone was stopped for possessing an invalid license. Take a look at what happens next.
Go! They can go.
That window doesn't roll.
They need to leave.
Huh?
They,
my sister.
They're gonna leave.
For what? What am I being pulled over for?
161 Santa Rosa.
What's the issue, sir?
I'm explaining to you in a minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Want to roll me another unit, no more response. I'm stopping you to see you at Dayton. They're not to stop. They're not part of my traffic stop. Okay, let me finish.
Following her.
That's okay. She can pull up down the road and wait. She's not going to stay here and wait. She's going to leave. It's not open for conversation, debate. I'm dealing with one person. Ma'am, I'm dealing with one person. I'm not dealing with more than one.
She's not dealing with you. She's making.
She's staying right there.
She is okay.
Your safety is fine.
Anything illegal, right?
I promise you, she is.
What is she doing? Though?
She's being told to leave because it's a traffic stop. Right now, this is something I'm doing. She's to leave. The vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can I see your license?
Sure.
When he stated that Ms. Shelley's car was parked just in front of the traffic stop, Officer D'Souza raised an objection. He repeatedly asked Ms. Boone to ask them to leave the area. Observe how the stop goes on.
I want them to go. It's not because they can see where to go.
He didn't even ask her to leave, sir. He's being very unprofessional.
Hello. Can you just go, please?
Well, that's my sister and my niece, so I'm just going to stay here.
I mean, what is she actually doing wrong? She's allowed to stay here, so she's just staying. And why is he having even the authority to just send her somewhere away? I mean, that's just her business is to stay or not to stay.
I need you to leave. If you can wait up there, I think.
It's a public road.
Okay, I'm
not obstructing traffic.
I'm asking. So you're obstructing this traffic stop. So can you just please?
Obstructing the traffic stop. That's so dumb. Yeah, that's really a dumb sentence.
Just there's a parking lot up there. Please just go up there.
I'm going to make sure that my sister.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
I observe that.
Okay, so now I am telling you, I'm not asking you. You need to go.
What law am I breaking?
I'm telling you, you need to go. Because it's not safe for you to be here.
Why is it not safe
because.
to be here?
The accompanying officer, Officer Crawford, asserts that Ms. Shelley needs to identify herself and is being held because she was not originally intended to be a part of the traffic stop. Take note of what is going to occur.
All right. Are we going to play that? All right, can I have your ID? Can I have your ID?
Am I being detained?
You are now.
What am I being detained?
Because now I need to identify you.
What am I being
I need to identify you. And if you refuse to, because you chose to stay in this situation, so now I want your ID. So now I want your ID. And if you refuse to give it to me, then we'll go sit in my car. Okay?
What law is that?
By not providing, you're failing to identify to a law enforcement officer. Okay?
But I have to identify if I'm being detained.
Yes, because you.
Then you have a reason to detain.
So listen, I'm not playing this game. I'm going to come over and we're going to get out of your car.
Damn. She just wanted to wait for her sister, and eventually the police officer started to just sending her away and asking for the pointed ID and other stuff, and acting really weirdly. I mean, how is she blocking anything or causing harm to anybody? I think he's just abusing his authority, but possibly she's in court right now because these incidents shouldn't be slide away like this.
Sir, you can call your sergeant.
You can get out of the car.
Call your sergeant. I would like a supervisor, please.
You can get out of the car right now, or I can help you out of the car. Or you can just give me your...
That's assault, because I've not broken
It's not
the
assault.
law.
You're impeding this traffic stop.
How am I impeding?
Because it has nothing to do with you. I asked you to leave. You refused.
The only reason why I pulled over is because my sister does not know my new residence, and
I
she
told
got
you
pulled
could go.
over.
And I told you could go wait up there in that parking lot. Okay, you both have cell phones.
What is the problem?
Because now you won't identify. First, you won't do a simple thing I asked you to do.
I'm telling you, I'm her sister, and I know that that's what she has told him by now.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what's going on back there.
Okay, and I'm not interfering with you doing what you men have to do.
No, you are. By stopping here, he does not want you here. Because now
Why?
Because he has no idea what you're going to do. You don't think we dealt with situations where the person in this car all of a sudden...
He just didn't say anything about what the law is she breaking.
I don't know that. I don't give a... I don't
Oh,
give
okay. I see
we have
everything.
no idea what your intentions...
Okay.
He is saying the slurs right now.
I will pull up, but I will be calling
So
the
unprofessional.
department. I would like your badge number.
I'll give you my card.
Please.
Okay?
Please do.
I've been so nice. I gave you multiple opportunities.
You're cussing at me and you're being
because I'm done with you.
rude.
Ooh.
So you want to cuss at me? I can cuss at you.
All day long. All day long.
That I have not been rude to you. I was sitting here in my
And I have not until you started refusing, so I still need your ID.
But I was
I need your ID.
what you were
I need your
detaining
ID.
me for. That's it.
I need your ID because you chose, because you're interfering with this. We don't want you here. It's not.
I will comply with your
Thank
ID
you.
request, but
Great.
you are not going about this correctly.
It's all on film.
Good. Hi, I'm glad.
And we'll see how it escalated to this because of your non-compliance.
No, it did not escalate.
That's actually really good that is all recorded. That she has the evidence to prove that she is innocent here. I mean, from my perspective, of course, I cannot say 100%, but from what I see is just she's standing on the park and on the public road on the sideway, and the officer is just acting really unprofessionally.
Because of my non-compliance, I asked you questions you refused to answer, and
I
you
did
are
answer.
supposed to answer them.
I don't need
You
to
did not tell me what I was going to be detained for. You did not tell me why I
For
needed to
failing to-
identify myself.
For failing to do what we asked you to do.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Supposed to be here.
Come
Now I need to
on.
make sure that we are safe.
I was doing absolutely nothing wrong, and I'm allowed to be on a public road.
You're not allowed to impede it.
I'm not impeding.
Because
I'm
you
sitting
stopped
in my
when I
vehicle.
stopped.
I didn't get out of my. You.
Shut the door for your own safety.
No.
All right, fine. Do whatever you want. I'm dumpster.
Ms. Shelley hands her ID to Officer Crawford, but tensions escalate as Mr. Crawford tries to slam the car door in anger, only to be stopped by...
At least in the US, she can file a lawsuit and sue this guy for quite of a much money. In Russia, that wouldn't be a case. That wouldn't be recorded in the first place. So she's lucky that this whole thing is going on in the US.
By Ms. Shelley.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I'm Sergeant Nick. So I watched the interaction. From the start, you aren't allowed to be stopped here. If you are interfering with any kind of investigation, you can be detained at that point too and identified as a person. You cannot just stop on the side of the road because somebody else stopped. Even if you know her sister, brother, or son, you can't.
Sergeant Nix arrives to defuse the situation, providing Ms. Shelley with his business card and informing her of the complaint filing process. He speaks with Ms. Boone, assuring her that body camera...
if that was actually the law break, then that's one thing, but just me as the person who didn't even drive, really, it's hard to say here. Assuring her the body camera footage will be examined, although no arrests or citations were made. Okay, let's see what
footage will be examined. Although no arrests or citations were made, Ms. Boone is prohibited from driving. Officers D'Souza and Crawford are instructed to complete a 40-hour retraining course in response to the incident. The next case takes the cake.
What you want is irrelevant.
Wait.
And informing her of the complaint filing process. He speaks with Ms. Boone, assuring her that body camera footage will be examined. Although no arrests or citations were made, Ms. Boone is prohibited from driving. Officers D'Souza and
I'm good. What about you?
Crawford are instructed to complete a 40-hour retraining course in response to the incident.
Thank you for the follow.
Next case takes the cake.
What you want is irrelevant. Now you're making this difficult for us, dude.
It is, man. All you had to do is sit there, be quiet.
Yeah, nobody cares. We're doing the right thing. We're going to take care of it. Yeah, relax. We're going to take care of it. Y'all talking about she an adult? She ain't no adult, man. Just turn around and sit down. Turn around and sit down.
On November 30th, 2022, several officers from the Grand Prairie Police Department and U.S. Marshals arrived at the residence of Shantaya Williams, an Army reservist and veteran. They were there to arrest her following her refusal to transfer from her HR position in Texas to another position in Virginia. Observe how law enforcement approaches this situation.
For her to do that. Hey, dude. Hey, come here. Hey, boss. Boss. Come on over here. 18 years old. Come over here. Anything? Come on over here. Come on over here. Hey, come on over here. Relax. Take it easy. Hey, and listen to the federal marshals, bud. Just listen to the federal.
Who y'all are, bro? That is my little sister. Bro, she is terrified, bro. All I'm trying to do is bring my little sister out, bro.
Listen to me. You're not helping, and you're going to get arrested for interfering. Stop. Chill out, guy.
Bro, I'm trying to get
chill out. What you want is irrelevant. Now you're making this difficult for us, dude.
It is, man. All you had to do is sit there, be quiet.
Yeah, nobody cares. We're doing the right thing. We're going to take care of it. Yeah, relax. We're going to take care of it.
Y'all talking about she an adult? She ain't no adult, man.
Just turn around and sit down. Just turn around and sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down. Dude, just sit down, man. Come on. Just sit down. It's okay. We're not trying to be nasty.
You're making this worse than it's got to be. She's got a warrant. She has to go to jail. It is what it is. We have tried to be peaceful. Well,
that's a 16-year-old little girl, bro. And y'all point guns at her. Hey. And all I'm trying to do is bring her out safely, bro, because she screaming and crying. She's 16 years old. Y'all pointing guns at her.
Yeah, that's dangerous. The shooting can happen.
Hey, we probably.
You're fine. We're gonna step out and listen. Suspect you.
Hey! I just want to put my breast in. I want to nurse in her.
Law enforcement officers allegedly began the operation by deploying a flash grenade and forcefully entering the premises. Following this, they smoke grenades the area before arresting Ms. Williams, despite her vulnerable medical condition and the fact that she was actively breastfeeding her infant child.
Why? What the hell is happening here? So they thought they were threatened by anybody? Because they, I mean, the household members were pointing guns, or what?
Hold on. You have a handcuff on you. Take the handcuff off, baby. Calm down. Shante. I was not. Let me tell y'all something. Let me just tell you something. Hold on. Okay, wait. I just want her to calm down. I promise I'm not gonna hurt nobody. We're trying to work with y'all.
No, she's not looking threatening.
Just do it now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I broke my finger. It's okay. Then hold it like that, okay? Okay. Here. No, stop moving. No, I was just trying to push my wrist up. That's all. I'm trying to do it.
Yeah, we're good here. Just hold what you got. We're almost done.
Just relax. Hey, push one out.
Watch your back. Let's go hang out with them, okay? There you go.
No, but what I'm trying to say. Else in here? No, sir. It was just me. I was nursing my baby. Hey, we're good. It was just me. I was nursing my baby. We can push out. Can I put some shoes on? Yeah.
Well, those are shoes. Those are shoes.
Can you turn these? No, those slides are perfect. No,
ma'am, come on. You're killing me here.
You have socks? No, I'm trying.
I know. You can fix your socks. You won't fall. Just put your slides on. Let's go.
Can I take my phone or my ID?
Right here?
It's in the wallet in there. That's the whole purse.
No, we're not taking the whole person.
No, I know. And then can we get my military ID on my military computer?
Mm-hmm.
Working from home?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Where's it at?
It's in here. No. It's in the office.
When did you change your last name?
I changed my last name.
We got it? We're good. Can you take a picture? Hey, Tim, where you at?
I'm good, y'all. I'm good.
Hey, can we take a picture of the front?
I'm good.
As soon as she comes out, you have handcuffs.
Man, we're gonna leave.
I mean, I didn't really understand, to be honest, what was an issue in the first place. Did she refuse really to what? Why did they even came to her? I need to rewatch it, I think. But after the resolve, maybe they will tell something more, actually, to clarify. Because I didn't really get what they... Why did they even go to her building like that?
We got pigs.
I'm fine. Get up, son. I'm fine.
Where's the I got the tour. Hey, shield. I got shield. Colin, where's your shield? Colin, you bring your squad around for transport.
I'm fine. Listen to me. Be the man of this house, call Milky. I'm fine.
Where's the rain?
Good.
Hold on 1 second. We're getting him out of handcuffs so he can.
I'm just getting him so he can calm down. That's all.
Hey, man, can you back up, please?
John, where's the rain?
Where's the right here?
Yeah, it's out there.
Hi, bud.
Come on, fine.
That's Tim. Hey, he's driving up right now. You're gonna miss him. Oh. You can hang out here.
I've never even stepped foot in the state of Virginia after that. Never stepped foot there.
Well, all we are is serving.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Well, we're the local police. We're not even involved.
I'm not
We're
even
just...
worried about it. It's all good. It's all good.
This is collaborative.
I literally just talked to the commander of the unit today. Literally.
That's weird.
I swear to God.
Let me ask you this, because we send officers over here to talk to y'all.
I wasn't here at the time.
Well, they said somebody just opened the door or opened the window and waved,
You've
and
never
that was
seen me
it.
wave to you. I've never did any of that, sir. I've been working
weird.
from home. I had a mental breakdown, and I've been on leave since the beginning. I just got off of leave yesterday, and I was returning to duty because I got off of my medical leave yesterday. Literally. That's fine. I'll turn sideways. That's good.
So they came here because she was allegedly going from the military base without any warning or what?
Yeah, just need help getting her back there. Yeah. You still working tonight? Thanks for coming out. I knew it was gonna turn out like this.
Yeah, it's this was one that had
In early 2022, Ms. Williams was told she had to move for her job, but she didn't follow the order. Because of this, she was accused of leaving her duty. She was first held at Fort Sill, and the details of her case are being kept private.
Once again,
told she had to move for her job, but she didn't follow the order.
So she. It's so shady. Like, how could the military even allow her to work on them if she already lost the job? I cannot understand here.
Because of this, she was accused of leaving her duty. She was first held at Fort Sill, and the details of her case are being kept private. Our last case will get you riled up.
Okay, will you please roll down your window more?
No.
All right, so I need you to identify yourself.
No, that's not how it works. I have rights as an American citizen, right? Failing to identify is a secondary offense. You have to have an actual charge, or you have to suspect me of committing a crime. You don't have that. You have nothing. I'm not going to identify simply because you see me park and you want to come up and identify me. That's not how it works.
In March 2022, Marine veteran Aaron Booker was waiting at a gas station parking lot in Colorado for his friends to arrive. Suddenly, he was approached by Corporal Church and other officers from the Grand Junction Police Department who asked him why he was there and requested identification. What followed was an encounter that would raise questions about law enforcement tactics and the treatment of citizens in seemingly harmless situations.
Can I roll down your window real quick?
No. What do you need?
I need you to identify yourself.
No, why?
Because...
So they started to force himself to get out of the car or show the license. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they will do something like this.
Hold on.
Don't worry, this is being recorded as well.
I know, but your recording is a lot easier, or it's a lot harder to get versus mine.
Okay, well, can you please roll down your window more?
No.
2016, it's right here.
Okay.
And this is my corporal right here. This is Corporal Church.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
All right, so I need you to identify yourself.
No, that's not how it works. I have rights as an American citizen, right? Failing to identify is a secondary offense. You have to have an actual charge, or you have to suspect me of committing a crime. You don't have that. You have nothing. I'm not going to identify simply because you see me park and you want to come up and identify me. That's not how it works.
Tonight, there was a shooting that occurred right near the Travelodge.
Under the Fifth Amendment, citizens have the right to refuse identification to law enforcement if they believe it may lead to unjust self-incrimination. Mr. Booker claims that police officers must have a valid reason or suspicion to request identification. Here's what happened next.
Okay.
And your car is similar in description, a dark-colored sedan to the suspect vehicle.
Okay.
All right. So you're leaving the Travelodge.
Okay.
Have information that's where the suspect might have come from.
The police officer believes Mr. Booker might be involved in a shooting from the previous night, which he thinks gives him the right to ask for ID. On the other hand, Mr. Booker feels he's being targeted because of his race.
Okay. Do you have a license plate number? Do you have a description of the person? Do you have anything? No. You do not have articulable suspicion that I've done anything.
I actually do.
No, you do not.
Yeah.
No, you do not. I am not going to identify.
Okay,
No.
if you fail to identify yourself, I'm going to pull you out of this car and detain you for obstruction.
No.
Because right now you're interfering with my investigation.
No, I am a free American. I'm a goddamn veteran Marine who's done 4 deployments to Iraq. You're not going to come up to me and try to intimidate me and get my identification. Huh?
Who's intimidating you?
He is.
He stood up to just give them ID without any clash.
He's.
Do you want to talk to me?
Yes, I do.
He'll step back.
All right.
Can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes, sir. I believe in American rights, especially as a black man, right? I understand.
You believe in the rights of somebody who got shot?
That has nothing to do with me. That's got nothing.
Rifle competition, right?
I'm going as a guest.
Okay, that's kind of cool. We want to get you on your way, man.
Okay.
All I really need to do is identify you.
No, you do not. No, you don't. You already know my name, which means you looked up my freaking license plate, right? So why do you need for me to identify? I'm not giving up my rights as a free American because you guys are using intimidation tactics. Failure to identify is a secondary offense.
Really forthcoming with information.
Why are you not cooperative?
Because I don't have to be cooperative with your investigation.
Well, you have to ID yourself.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I absolutely do. Tell me why I have to ID.
Well, Colorado state law says you do.
Explain that to me.
You want me to recite the law?
I want you to. I want you to explain why me as a person, have to ID to you.
Colorado state law says you do.
Explain that law.
Okay, and what do you want explained?
You can't just say, well.
Yes, you can.
The law says
you obviously
are law
can.
enforcement, right?
So explain to me why it doesn't.
No. You.
Know.
I do know.
No, you don't.
How are you going to tell me what I know?
Well, because you can't.
How are you going to tell me what I know?
You can't explain it.
I did not say that I
You already explained it
you
to
as a law enforcement officer.
Previous officers.
As law enforcement, know the law. Me as a citizen is asking that. First of all, what's your name, your badge number, please?
Okay.
What's your name, your badge number? What's your name, your badge number,
I'm
sir?
not going to give that to you.
Oh, he has to actually, as the law enforcer.
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
You are a public servant. I'm asking for your name and badge number.
Give me your name.
No, I do not. Okay. You have to have reasonable articulable suspicion that me as a person, have committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or in the process of committing a crime.
I agree with that.
Right? There's going to be a lot of people that see this video that are going to ask, well, why don't you just ID? Why don't you just ID? That's how you give up your freaking, that's how you lose your rights. You lose your rights when it becomes normal practice to be, well, what are you being hostile for? What are you not cooperating for? They use words like that to try to intimidate.
I mean, I don't know. Will it be any consequences if he will show them ID? Will it be much easier for him to actually show them ID and then they will say like, fine, you can go? Or that kind of behavior from him was really annoying for the officers, but he didn't do actually anything lawfully wrong here, so they shouldn't be that much annoyed. She should have some protocols and other stuff. So yeah.
They you to force you to give up your rights. That's how you lose your rights as a free American in the United States, because the norm becomes, well, just give up your rights. So for all you people that are going to ask that question, that's why I'm not IDing, because I'm not going to give up my rights, because there's too many sheep out there that don't know the law and are afraid of the police.
All right, Mr. Booker, you have a nice day. Good luck at your shooting competition.
Off, man.
Another officer arrives and attempts to persuade the veteran to provide identification, but is unable to quote the specific law he's referring to or provide his own name. In an attempt to intimidate Mr. Booker, the officer calls out his name even though he never identified himself. Eventually, the officers leave the scene without making any arrests or issuing citations. Mr. Booker intends to file a lawsuit against the officers involved. However, it's unclear whether he has followed through with his plan. It's disappointing when police officers mistreat respected veterans. If you found this video informative...
Yeah, of course. So yeah, that's it for today. And